And here we go. Welcome in to a Friday edition of Bucky and BK. Again, today, Friday, February 27th, 2026. And the Buck and I are with y'all for the next 2 hours. Plenty to dive into. We will talk some NFL Combine. Ryan Roberts, who covers the NFL draft, will join us from Indianapolis in hour two. We'll also give our thoughts on some of the Longhorn performances thus far in Indy. We will recap Texas women's basketball's blowout win over Georgia. We'll preview Texas men's basketball's big game coming up against A&M tomorrow. We've got Longhorn baseball and softball to get into, some proposed rule changes happening with college football, a little NFL conversation, and another edition of the BBK News. It's a jam-packed Friday show, and we appreciate y'all spending some time with us. Happy Friday, my man. How are you today?
I'm doing fabulous, man. How about you? You doing okay?
Doing okay. Can never complain on a Friday.
What a gorgeous day it was yesterday. What a wonderful summer day it was yesterday. Man, was it hot. It was warm. And likewise today, we'll get the same. Maybe not as hot, but it was warm. That sun got warm in a hurry. Stayed warm all day. And, I always talk about that Woods Comfort Systems. My air conditioner was cranking yesterday. I'm like, why does the air conditioning keep coming on? Well, you know why? Because it's almost 90 degrees up in here.
Yeah.
And where I am up in the cave here, well, not down in the cave, I'm up in the cave. That heat rises and it gets warm up here. And thank goodness, what a day. And what a nice weekend in store for us, too. Doesn't look like rain will come around, BK, until probably Wednesday or Thursday of next week. So I've got my 72 hours. Do I have 72 hours or 48 hours? I keep making that I keep upping the times. I go 48 hours. So I'm going to say, I better throw Tuesday in there. I need 72. I'll throw Tuesday to Thursday. No?
Not giving you 72. It's ridiculous.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm a weatherer.
Yeah, the weatherers, they tell us what the weather is going to be on that day. They're not always right, but they at least try to tell us what the weather is going to be on that day. You tell me what the weather is on a Monday. I don't need, what Monday's weather is going to be on a Friday. Like, come on, just get it right the day of. I'm not giving you that huge grace period that you're asking for.
Hey, those guys are still on TV to do it every day that are alleged gone to school for it, gone to weather camp and all that stuff.
Well, sadly, they're more accurate than you, which is saying how cold you've been on your predictions lately.
Oh my goodness, that's so hard. I can't believe you said that. Good day to the soldiers at Fort Hood, Texas, the soldiers in the state of Texas, and all those that fight for us each and every day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate what you do. We appreciate what your families do for all of us, sharing you with us. And do be safe out there, please.
Yes, indeed. All right, let's open up with a little NFL Combine conversation, recapping some of the action that went down yesterday in Indianapolis. You had the linebackers and the defensive line who participated in the first day of on-field workouts. Two Longhorns were a part of that. You had Anthony Hill working with the linebackers and Trey Moore, interestingly enough, working with the defensive line. Obviously, Trey Moore spent 2 seasons at Texas after transferring from UTSA. Year one, he was working more with the edges on the defensive line. And this past season, it felt like he was working more with the linebackers. But obviously, at the Combine, he went back to the defensive line. But some really strong performances, Buck. Anthony Hill, unfortunately, on his second 40-yard dash, he felt a little tightness in his hamstring. So he was unable to continue and did not participate in the on-field drills. Now he'll get his chance to showcase more of his skill set at the Texas Pro Day coming up here in a few weeks. But before he got hurt, he really turned heads. How about a 4.51 40-yard dash, which is the 4th best amongst linebackers this year?
Boy, that is moving now.
For a guy 240 pounds. Yeah, 6'2", 238 pounds. Sorry to cut you off. That was the measurements from a height and weight standpoint for Anthony Hill, but 4.51 40, pretty ridiculous.
I was telling you before, that's what running backs used to run. And some of them, not even that. A lot of them, 15 years ago weren't running that. They were running 4.56s, 4.55s, things like that. This guy's running a 4.51. as a linebacker, as a non-athlete. Come on, really?
Oh, he's an athlete. I mean, that guy is a stud. And there are running backs nowadays who don't run 4.51
I would agree.
40s. So, I mean, we knew it. Look, Anthony Hill showcased his athleticism during all 3 years on the 40 acres. That guy is an athletic freak. And we
Yes,
basically saw that from the very first game that he played. You feel like that's a guy who could play running back or tight end or edge or safety. I mean, he's
sure.
that much of a freak to where, again, you could line him up anywhere and he's good enough to make some things happen. And it's interesting, they were talking on the NFL Network telecast yesterday. It was Rich Eisen and Daniel Jeremiah and Charles Davis. And they were going back and forth a little bit on whether or not Anthony Hill could be a first-round pick. Now, I don't think he's a lock to be one by any stretch, but man, again, the height's there, the weight's there, the measurements were there. Obviously, the speed is there. Unfortunate that he couldn't do the other on-field drills, but I don't think it's super far-fetched to think that Ant could find his way into the back end of the first round when we get to April.
Yeah, I mean, if you're watching these teams like the Seattle Seahawks bringing safeties from way back, and rushing the quarterback, that guy coming from the inside or the outside can be amazing if you're getting him on the field. You don't lose anything with that dude as a cover guy. We saw him get on the boundary, made great plays, interceptions. So he's such a good athlete. He doesn't have to come off the field in those situations where you have to substitute for another DB. That guy's good. He can cover guys out of the backfield. He can cover tight ends. I mean, and at that size and that speed, wow.
Yeah, I just
He's
feel
going
like
to be
there's
faster than most of the. He's going to be faster than the tight ends that run.
for sure. I just feel like there's not really anything that Anthony Hill can't do, and I think we saw that again. His first year at Texas, he was, playing primarily off the edge, and he was maybe Texas's best sack guy that year. I think he did lead Texas in sacks as a true freshman in 2023, and then they asked him to move back to a traditional off-ball linebacker position, and I mean, he played at an All-American level these last couple of years. So I just think, he's got that position versatility. He's not a tweener. Some guys, it's like, well, we're not sure he's good enough to play here
Right.
or play here. He's an in-between guy. With Anthony Hill, I think he's good enough. You could put him on the edge and he's going to wreak havoc, or you can have him as a traditional, linebacker, put the green dot on his helmet and just let him run a defense. And I think either way, you're going to be very satisfied with what you get.
Yeah, I think he'll do well inside. I think he'd be a substitutional guy, not an every down guy out there, at defensive end as a rush guy. I put him, third down guy or passing situation type of player. We know he's good against the run too, but I wouldn't want him out there against NFL tackles 380 or whatever, for a bunch of series. I just think that'll wear you down. I think inside he'll be fabulous. That means he can slide to the outside, he can cover, he can blitz from anywhere he wants to.
Yeah, no, he's a sideline to sideline player. He's got the speed, obviously. He showed that yesterday, but you're right. I mean, he's downhill. He's physical. He's violent at the point of attack. And
He's no good. Running backs don't like guys like this dude.
no, and you talked about the Seahawks. I mean, that'd be the perfect fit.
Oh,
I think typically every player wants to get drafted by the team that just won the Super Bowl, right? Because it's like, oh man, I'm going to a winner right away, and I've got a shot to compete for a championship in my first year in the league.
oh, sure. If you're a defender, you want to be on that kind of defense.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that'd be such a fun fit for Anthony Hill. Just plug him into the heart of that group that already has so much talent around him. Then I think Seattle would be very happy with him. But look, I think any team that ends up with Anthony Hill is going to be very satisfied with their draft pick. And
No doubt.
if he does fall to day 2, I don't think it's going to take him very long to get picked on day 2. But if he does end up falling to Friday, then again, I think the team that gets him is going to get tremendous value with him, because that, to me, that's a first-round player. Am I biased? Yeah, I'm willing to admit that I'm biased. But, I mean, watching every game Anthony Hill has played over the last 3 years, that guy has a long career in the NFL ahead of him.
Oh, yeah. He's been – and he's – like I say, he's so flexible at position-wise. There's a lot you can do with a guy like that. You can build your defense around a guy like that with a couple big guys on that defensive line. That guy can move.
Yeah.
I think he's a first rounder. I think late first round at that back end, somebody's looking to get, a defender that he's the guy. And I think he really can play inside. He's, 240, 240, he'll go to whatever you want him to go to. If you want him to be 245, 250, he'll do that. It's no big deal. I can't see that being a big problem for him. and still keeping his speed because he's such a good athlete.
Right. Yeah, the last 5 picks of the first round, Texans, Rams, Broncos, Patriots, Seahawks. Any of those spots I think would be
Oh,
ideal
on your
for Anthony
defense, on
Hill.
those defenses are already good.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And then, for Trey Moore, it's a different conversation, right? Trey Moore, more than likely a day 3 draft pick, but he's another guy who I think very much helped himself yesterday. A 4.54 40 time for Trey Moore at 6'2, 243. Also had a 38.5-inch vertical. That's a defensive lineman, Buck.
Yeah, that is the 4.54 is moving. Vertical jump is what is it? Did you say he was 6'2"?
6'2, 243.
Yeah, he's not like a long arm guy. There's no exceptional deal about his body that, for a 6'2" guy. Oh, he's got, 12-inch, 12-foot wingspan. He just doesn't have that kind of. He's another good athlete that's gotten better over the last 2 years. He's gotten better with each year, I thought.
Yeah, Trey Moore, 10.5-inch hands as well. Not super long arms, but he's got some paws for
Yeah, he's
hands.
getting his hands on you. You got a problem.
And again, yeah, he's a great athlete. He's another guy who maybe could play a couple of different spots on a defense. So, again, a different conversation in terms of where he's going to get drafted. But I do think Trey Moore has the skill set and the athleticism to find a spot, make a team, and make some things happen early on in his NFL
No,
career.
he's not like Ant Hill, but he's a guy that's got a shot, like you said, third or fourth round. They'll be looking for a guy like that because
Yeah.
he'll be on every special teams. He's going to make the team because he's going to be on the special teams, and he's going to do a good job at that because he's athletic enough. So those guys are important. Those are the guys, the meat and potatoes of your team are those guys. Those late second, third, and fourth round guys, they make up your team.
For sure. I don't know if Trey Moore's going to be that high. I'd love for him to end up going that high, but he may be more of a 5th or 6th kind of draft pick when it's all said and done. But didn't hurt himself yesterday. I mean, getting the invite to the combine is a big deal, and then performed pretty well. And obviously, he'll get his chance at Texas Pro Day too.
4.54. I mean, like I said, those are back in the days. Those were like running back numbers.
Yeah, it's crazy. Still bummed that Ethan Burke didn't get the invite to the combine. He should have been there, and obviously he would have been working out yesterday if he did get the invite. But again, Pro Day coming up. I think Ethan Burke will be just fine. So that's the Texas side of things, Buck. Some other standouts. And, in hour 2, we'll talk to Ryan Roberts, who's up there in Indy. He got to see these performances firsthand. But the guys who had the best days overall were the 2 Ohio State linebackers who are going to be very high draft picks in the first round. Sonny Styles.
Yeah.
About a 43.5-inch vertical, which is the best ever for a linebacker at the combine.
Man.
Not just the best this year, but the
best
ever. He also ran a 4.46, which was tied for the fastest of all of the linebackers who were there yesterday. His broad jump was 11 feet 2 inches, which is 4th all time for linebackers in combine history. Also, 6'5", 244 pounds, Buck.
Yeah, he's got long arms.
He's got long arms. I mean, he is an athletic freak. And that is a guy, the Cowboys picking there at 12 overall. That's a name that I've had circled on the BK big board that nobody cares about for a long time.
Oh, you got the BK big board out.
And I just don't think he's going to make it to 12. Even before yesterday, I thought maybe it was a long shot that he would fall that far. But after what he did yesterday, dude, there is no chance he falls to the Cowboys.
Move up the board to get him.
No, I don't want to do that. Cowboys have too many holes that they need to fill to trade up in this draft. I think
they can't be giving up anything.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, if you're telling me they're going to give up a day 3 pick to move up a few spots to get Sonny Styles, that's fine. But if you're talking about trading, your other first round pick that you have, number 20 overall, or a future first round pick to make a move, I'm not down with that. But if you could trade a 4th, number 12 and a 4th round pick to move up to like number 9, say if Sonny Styles falls that far, or maybe Caleb Downs, the Ohio State safety, maybe if that guy falls that far, then I'm in on that.
Would you take either one of those guys if they fell to there and you had an opportunity to get either one of them? Would you take that chance?
At 12?
Yeah, and you'd have to give up that fourth rounder.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. For sure. I mean, that's again, depends on how far you have to move up. You're going to need to trade more than a fourth rounder if you're moving up into the top 10. So that's a total pipe dream for me and for Cowboys fans everywhere. But yeah, that's the unfortunate part of the combine, right? It's fun to watch these guys just put on a show, but if you're a fan of a certain team and you are hoping a certain player falls for you, you're almost like rooting against him a little bit at the combine.
Right.
And Sonny Styles did the opposite of that. He was magnificent there. And then Arvell Reese, the other Ohio State backer who can play edge, who could play linebacker, he ran a 4.46. That guy might end up being the second overall pick to the New York Jets.
Right.
He's a freak. David Bailey out of Texas Tech ran a 4.5 as a defensive lineman, 4.5 flat. Insanity. Some of these guys these days, man.
He's the big dude at Tech, right?
Yeah, their edge rusher, a guy who transferred from Stanford. Texas really wanted him. Texas Tech outbid the Longhorns last offseason to get him, and you see why, Texas Tech made him such a high priority. I mean, he had a tremendous season in Lubbock, 6'4", 251 pounds, running a 4.5 flat on the 40 time. Dude is a specimen. He's another guy I was thinking like, could he fall to the Cowboys? No chance that guy will be there either.
There are going to be a lot of defenders leaving early.
There will be. Yeah, well, that's typically what happens when there's not a lot of depth at the quarterback spot, right?
Yes.
Teams reach for quarterbacks, and like some years we see 3 or 4 QBs go in the top 10. It feels like it's Mendoza at 1 and then potentially a long wait before we get the second quarterback.
I agree.
I think it's Ty Simpson, but I think he'll go at some point in round 1, but I don't know if it's going to be in the top 10. So that means, there's going to be a run of defensive studs flying off the board, which is not good for Dallas, who needs as many defensive studs.
That's exactly right. The year when they need them all.
They just need some average defensive players. Shoot.
That's true.
Average would have been better than most of the guys they were trotting out there. So there you go. There's day 1 of the combine. Ruben Bain out of Miami did not work out. His arms measured at 30 7/8 inches, which he's going to have the shortest arms of any first-round edge in the last 20 years.
The better to punch you inside in the chest with when I come out the corner.
Yeah. It's also what's interesting, some people might not care about that. They might think that's stupid. But there has not been a player in the NFL with arms of less than 31 inches who has had double-digit sacks in the last 2 decades. So I don't know what it is. Ruben Bain's going to go very high. The team that drafts him is going to expect him to be a double-digit sack guy. And those short arms, those T-Rex arms, Buck.
Yeah, like you said, those tackles get on you, and you stick to like glue. You can hit them in the chest. Hey, but they go 360. Your punch to them with those little Kyler Murray arms.
Here's a picture of Ruben Bain at the combine yesterday.
Oh my God.
So I don't know. Again, he's gonna go high, and he probably should, considering how good of a year he just had at the U. But pretty bizarre stat right there. Also, Cassius Howell at A&M, who was the SEC Defensive Player of the Year, which is a total joke because Colin Simmons is way better and put up better numbers and definitely should have won that award. Cassius Howell, 30 1/4 inch arms, even smaller arms than Ruben Bain.
Yeah, those are nice for the combine, but they're like those tackles that play in the NFL with those big long arms are licking their chops. When you try to do a swim move with your little mini arms, with your little Tootsie Roll arms, and they stick those big mitts on you and slam you to the turf, that's not good. The long arm guys are great as pass rushers. They can grab and yank and do all that stuff. The short arm guys, they get pinned by those big tackles. Yuck.
Yeah.
Who was the guy? The one guy who had, I was thinking that Mack.
Khalil Mack?
Yeah, I mean, he was a short armor kind of guy. I got to believe his size is kind of similar to some of the guys that we're talking about. But I mean, he had exceptional quickness off the line. I mean, his first step was "see you later." He had to have a. I can't believe his arms were that long.
Oh,
I don't
Khalil
think they're,
Mack.
I don't know if they're T-Rex, but
No, his arms are 33 and a quarter inches. He has very long arms.
wow.
Your memory is failing you. He at the combine, he's obviously been in the league for a number of years, but at the
And that,
combine, 6'3", 251 pounds with 33 and a quarter inch arms and 10 and a quarter inch hands.
yeah, that'll all do. That's why has so many sacks.
That's why he is potentially a Hall of Famer at the end of his career.
Yes.
I mean, Defensive Player of the Year, 4-time first team All Pro,
Oh yeah.
second team All Pro. Yeah, he's definitely a Hall of Famer. I'm selling him short right here. You're trying to give him T-Rex arms, and I'm saying he might not be a
I
Hall
mean,
of
I just
Famer.
don't consider him with his body's type. It never looks like looks like that. He looks like he's a short arm guy with just incredible upper body without the arms. But at 33, those are quite the arms.
Yeah, he's a stud. He's an athletic specimen right there.
Plus, we've seen him inside and outside. That guy can play anywhere.
Anywhere. So there you go. There's your day one recap. 5 other Longhorns will participate over the weekend. Guys going right now, guys going tomorrow, guys going on Sunday. It'll be DJ Campbell and Jack Endries on the Texas offense, and then 3 defensive backs with Michael Taft, Manny Muhammad, and Jalen Gilbo. So best of luck to all of them. We'll talk about their performances on Monday's show. All right. We will shift gears here. Talk some Texas basketball. We've got a recap of the women's victory last night over Georgia. Preview Texas men's basketball's huge game in College Station tomorrow. But before we shift to the hardwood for a moment, Buck, how about our first round of sponsor shout-outs?
Shout out to Jay and the gang over at Sue Patrick. 50 years of serving the Austin area with that great Longhorn gear, and we've got them on today for sure. We've got tons of Texas-themed items, books, the whole works, and a wide variety of men's and women's clothing. Sue Patrick offers free shipping on online orders of $59 or more, free curbside pickup, and plenty of parking space, folks, at 5222 Burnett Road. The baseball jerseys for adults are in pinstripe and, of course, gray. And for youth sizes, they've got them all there for your burnt orange and ivory. And right now, the Nike on-field fitted caps are available for you. They got caps galore at Sue Patrick. So go and get yourself fitted for one of those wonderful baseball caps that they have at Sue Patrick. Once again, 5222 Burnett Road or SuePatrick.com. And do remember the Jellycats. Don't forget about the Jellycat family, okay?
Never forget.
Never forget. Never forget about the Jellycat family at Sue Patrick.
No, absolutely not. Shout out to Sue Patrick. Also, shout out to Altstadt Beer.
Big shout out.
I know our guy Jay at Sue Patrick enjoys some Altstadt Beer from time to time.
Yes, he does.
And he should. And you should too. It's the weekend. They messed up. They let us get to Friday again. Congratulations. Mazel tov. You made it to the end of another long week here in Central Texas or wherever you're tuning in across the state of Texas. The best way to ring in the weekend is with an ice cold Altstadt beer. Maybe a few Altstadt beers. I could tell you that Altstadt will be a part of my weekend plans this weekend. No question. Also, and we always talk about the beer, but earlier this week, the Altstadt Brewery was named Brewery of the Year in the state of Texas. So it's going to be a beautiful weekend here in Central Texas. If you're looking for something to do, make that trip down to Fredericksburg. It's a gorgeous drive. The brewery is right in the heart of the beautiful Central Texas hill country. So much to do. They've got live music every weekend. They've got an outdoor beer garden, a big indoor event space. They've got a German-style restaurant whipping up all sorts of European food. And, of course, you get to try every single Altstadt beer. I'm telling you, it's the perfect day trip for the beer drinkers in your life. Whatever you have going on this weekend, make sure you accompany your good times with the greatness that is Altstadt. And remember to drink it responsibly. It's the official beer of BK. It should be the official beer of you as well. It's Altstadt beer. No impurities, no regrets.
Sweet.
Yes, indeed. And also some love to SendTexTickets.com. If you're trying to get to Houston to watch a little Texas baseball this weekend, they've got tickets to the Bruce Bolt College Classic available right now. And a Texas men's or women's basketball ticket. Maybe you're trying to go to College Station to watch the Longhorns in Aggieland tomorrow. SendTex Tickets has you covered. And it's not just Texas sports. Any sporting event, any concert, any comedy show, festival, Broadway show, you name it, they've got them all in one place. Centextickets.com. You can just log on from your phone or computer. Super easy to use. All of their tickets are 100% guaranteed. You don't have to worry about scams or fakes or anything like that. And they're going to hook you up with a 10% discount just by tuning in to this show. Centex 10, you type that in at checkout, and boom, it's 10% off just like that over at centextickets.com.
Those NASCAR tickets, if you're not finding a way to get the NASCAR tickets, let Shelby in the game over Syntex help you out for sure. That's going to be quite the event out at Circuit of the Americas.
Yeah, NASCAR at COTA going on this weekend. Events today, tomorrow, and then the big race at 2:30 on Sunday. And should be a great crowd. Of course, circuitoftheamericas.com. We'll have some more information. And if you've never been out to COTA for a race, I highly recommend you change that.
I know, Mike. I wonder if Michael Jordan will be in the house this weekend.
Yeah, definitely.
He's on a heater. They got 2 in a row. He's got to come to town, doesn't he?
Tyler Reddick, who is a Team Jordan driver, he's won the first 2 races of the NASCAR season, going for 3 in a row, trying to become the first driver ever to win the first 3 races in a season.
Wow.
2311 Racing, the name of Jordan's team. So, yeah, if you want to brush with greatness, maybe you want to see if you can make a bet with Michael Jordan.
Sure. He's betting. Bet on anything. Bet on anything.
You know, they show MJ after these races and he looks super happy. And you think, well, yeah, it's one of his drivers on 2311. Of course he's happy. It's like, no, he's not happy because of that. He's happy because he had $500K on that driver to win.
He had it on FanDuel.
Yeah, he had a bunch of money. He ain't blaming an interpreter like Shohei Ohtani did. That guy will tell you, no, yeah, I've got some coin on my guys this weekend and every weekend. So, yeah, NASCAR at COTA, get out there all weekend long. All right, little Texas women's basketball conversation, Buck.
Oh, the Midnight Madness.
Yeah, sure felt that way. Very late start for the women. They started, well, they're supposed to tip off at 9 o'clock. The game really didn't get going until like 10 after 9.
10 after. It was 10 after. I'm closer to 9:15.
The good news is Texas whooped up on Georgia so bad that you could have gone to bed like 2 minutes after tip off and you wouldn't have missed anything.
It wasn't quite 2 minutes, but I got to the first quarter and I could have gone the pregame show that they had. When 9 o'clock hit, and I was like, they're going to tip it off. Then the pregame show started. I was like, I could go to bed right after this. I could have, because there was nothing to it. They just crushed them.
79-50 was the final score from the Moody Center last night, and it really felt like it was over from the opening tip. Texas started the game on an 11-0 run. Like at that point, you knew. Again, Texas was a huge favorite. They're way better than Georgia. Probably knew going in that the Longhorns were going to take care of business. And they weren't going to lose their last home game of the year with that ridiculous home winning streak that they've been on. They weren't going to lose that one and let the senior class end their home career, at least home regular season career, with a loss. But again, they jumped out to an 11-0 lead right off the bat, and it was smooth sailing from then on out.
Yeah, man, they turned that group over 24 times. That's like, wow, just give me the ball.
Yeah, and that's not even a season high. That's not even close to a season high for this Texas defense. I mean, they are relentless. Now, Georgia's best player is a young lady named Danny Carnegie, who averages 18 points per game. Rory Harmon held her to 3 last night. She made 1 shot and 1 free throw, and that was it. And her bucket came like late in the game after it was already decided. So just insane defense from Rory. We know that about her. She's the school's all-time leader in steals, but really just top to bottom as a team, the Longhorns ridiculously good on the defensive end of the floor. You mentioned it, 24 turnovers. Georgia had just 6 assists. They shot 38% as a team. It was a beatdown last night.
Yeah, that's what you do. That's what you do on senior late night.
Right. Yeah, is that what we're calling it, senior late night?
Yeah, it was kind of senior late night. It's for the more mature seniors on your team.
Right. Yeah, it's past a lot of their bedtime. College kids, it ain't past their bedtime.
No,
maybe past Vic Schaefer's bedtime.
Yeah, he and his coaching staff are probably like, I'm going to get a little tired here. Because it was quite the yawner. I mean, really.
He and Vic Schaefer, he talked about it after the game last night. He talked about it during the availability a couple of days ago. He's talked about it like 4 or 5 different times. He is not happy with the SEC scheduling that game when they did. And not only is it a 9 p.m. game on a Thursday, which is ridiculous. By the way, Georgia is in the Eastern time zone. So that's a 10 p.m. game for Georgia.
Oh,
so it's
yeah,
not like
you're right.
Vic is saying, oh, it's only unfair for us. He's like, what about them? Like, they're getting screwed worse than we are here. But also,
it goes. I mean, it's your press conference. What is it? Your after the game presser has got to be midnight. It's got to be the next day.
Yeah, it ended around midnight last night.
Wow.
I stayed up and watched the entire game. I'm typically up that late anyways. And then, the press conference ended around midnight yesterday.
Man.
So, and also the Longhorns' next game, final game of the regular season, is on Sunday on the road in Tuscaloosa at 11 a.m.
Well, let's just have breakfast. Let's make it 8.
Might as well. Yeah, considering what the SEC is doing these days, why not just move it up a couple of hours? So Vic Schaefer definitely not happy about that. You already get the short turnaround going from Thursday to Sunday, and then you get the latest possible tip time ever on the Thursday game and the earliest possible tip time ever on the Sunday game. So, again, he's not very happy about that. But the team didn't let it affect them at all last night.
Oh, no.
They were up 28-11 after the first quarter. They were up by 31 at halftime. Texas actually got outscored in the second half by 2, but they were up by so much at recess that.
What was their largest lead? 33, 35, something like that?
They still won by 29.
Man.
Largest lead of the night for Texas was 33. And the Longhorns led the entire way. The only time the game was tied was 0-0, and it was all Texas.
Right.
After that. Here is Vic Schaefer after the win, deep into the night, not complaining about the tip time in this cut, but just talking about how impressed he was by his team's performance against the Dogs.
Yeah, I'm really proud of our kids. I thought we played really well tonight, especially in the first half. I thought they came out. We executed some really good stuff, shot 71% in the first quarter, 76% in the first quarter, 71 in the first half, I think, and offensively just really played well. Obviously, defensively, we were lined up and hooked up. 18 points at half for Georgia. Rory was just so special on Carnegie. Carnegie's so good, y'all. Her and Woolfolk are just tough matchups, and Rory just did an outstanding job on her. 1 for 8. I don't think she scored a bucket till late in the fourth quarter. So just was really, really proud of us defensively that first half. It's always hard to continue the continuity in the second half. And, we actually got outscored 32-30 in the second half. But, when I came in at halftime, after standing out in the hallway making notes, they had put on the board 50 points is what they wanted to hold them to or under, and they certainly did that. So you love it when your kids are locked in on things like that and focused on the important things. And again, I thought our shoot around today was really good defensively. So kids were special tonight, no question about it. Played really well, played really hard.
Playing hard on senior night and playing defense. Maybe you should go coach the dudes on the defensive part.
You're out on Sean Miller already?
No, I'm out on the defense.
Yeah.
I mean, just slide by practice one day, just talk a little defense. I'm sure they've talked before about defense, but just show a bit of practice, with your practice stuff on. Just
you think Sean Miller would allow that to happen?
He would.
You think
the big say
allow that to happen?
Yes, they would. They would accept that, and I would think they would openly accept that. If there was something to help them defensively, I know it's all in the mind. Hey, get your ass in front of that guy. Don't let that guy get by you. There's probably some things that he could help out with.
The women's team is a lot better on defense than the men's team. I won't argue that.
I mean, they're really tenacious. They're like nasty defenders.
Yeah, they're not.
They got really fast hands, but they're not grabbers. They don't grab the wrist. They don't hit the leg. They don't make a lot of contact when they play defense. They use their feet a lot. They do a great job with their feet. You just don't get the corners on them. You know what I mean? The guys, the shoulder, if they get a shoulder, if a guy's a right-hand guy, he'll set them up like nobody's business. Like Swain sets people up to always kind of go right.
Yeah.
He'll take you like he's going left, but he ain't going left. He's going to his right somehow, some way. They don't let you do that. They square up to you. You don't get the corners on them. They really move their feet really well.
They are relentless for 40 minutes and for 94 feet every time down the floor. I mean, it's full court press, and they are getting after you, and nothing's easy going up against Texas. So, look, Vic Schaefer. The funniest part of the game last night, Buck, you were in bed. I think a lot of Longhorn fans probably went to bed by halftime if they even stayed up to watch this game.
No, I didn't make the half. I said I would make the tip off, but I made the first quarter. After that, it was like, what time? It's after 10 o'clock now. What's going on here?
I know. Way too late. But Vic Schaefer, so Texas is up by 30 points. I think it was 54-24 at this point, this early in the third quarter, probably 2 minutes in. And Vic Schaefer got a technical foul. He was so mad at the refs. He ripped off the suit jacket. His face turned to that classic beet red. I thought he was going to get ejected. His team's up by 30 points. They are dominating a ranked Georgia team, and he was on the edge of getting thrown out of the game. He was losing his freaking mind. And
I'm like, that close, huh?
Oh, my gosh. He just insane. And that's just who he is. Look, he's consistent. He is passionate. He's not going to quit coaching just because his team has a huge lead. I mean, he is all over it all the time. But I was like cracking up at home on my couch. I'm like, this dude is really getting he's so mad at one call in a game that his team is up by 30. They've played a perfect game to this point, basically. And he is getting a tech because a call didn't go the way that he wanted. Amazing.
Yeah, he does look like his head's going to pop off of his shoulders.
Oh, yeah, he's a psycho. He's a psycho. I could tell you were thinking it. You just didn't want to say it. I'll say it. He is a psycho.
Yeah,
but
he
that's
is kind of a little psycho.
What makes him an elite college basketball coach.
I want to see him when smoke starts coming out of his nose. That's what I want to see. Out of his ears and his nose, just like just steam.
The old cartoon.
Yes.
I thought he was close to that last night. And again, they were up by 30.
Wow.
Like, man. So nice win for Texas. That is their 11th ranked win of the year. Just tied for the most by a women's team since South Carolina back in 21-22.
So what place will they be in? Will they come in second place?
Yeah, right now they're tied for second. South Carolina clinched the SEC regular season title yesterday, and they won it outright too. So Texas has no chance, unfortunately, to get that one. Right now the Horns are tied for second with Vanderbilt, each team with one game to play.
Well, they'll see those dudes in the SEC tournament. So
yeah, that could be the championship in the SEC tournament. And Texas plays at Alabama, another ranked team, so a chance to get to 12 ranked wins this year. Vanderbilt, meanwhile, playing at Tennessee. So for the Longhorns to get second place outright, they will need a win and a Vanderbilt loss. But, right now tied for second. So there you go. There's a little women's basketball conversation. And then for the Texas men, Buck, big one tomorrow. The Longhorns in College Station trying to get some revenge against the Aggies for the loss here in Austin back in mid-January. Texas A&M came to Austin and beat the Longhorns 74-70. And Texas now, it's crunch time. I mean, tomorrow's game, the last day of February, calendar's about to flip to March. Only 3 games left in the regular season. Texas sitting at 8 conference wins. We keep talking about the magic number being 9, but you'd really like to get to 10 to feel good about solidifying a spot in the field of 64. Big opportunity against a good A&M team on the road. You know it's going to be a crazy atmosphere, but this is a game that Texas can win, and boy, I'd really like for them to win.
And they should win this game, after floundering, by 13 at home against a really good Florida team, which everybody knows is good. I don't think you can go to Texas A&M and flounder there. I mean, I'd hate to see them I think that's a game that they can win. If everybody's playing, they can win that game because the team that's really floundering is A&M. They've been kind of in limbo since I think they played Missouri, since Missouri beat them. They've just kind of been up and down, and they've been so inconsistent. This is the time to get them right now.
Yeah, the Aggies have lost 5 of their last 7 games, and there are only 2 wins in that stretch are against Ole Miss, who they barely beat. They had to have a huge comeback at home to survive Chris Beard and the Ole Miss Rebels, who are horrible. And then they
Yes.
went against Oklahoma, who's also one of the worst teams in the conference.
Yeah,
So
was Missouri the team that started them off on that bad streak?
that
Did
sounds
it happen?
right.
Yeah,
No, it was Alabama. They lost a
Oh, it was
close game
Alabama?
at Alabama, and then they lost a blowout to Florida, which, okay, no
Okay.
shame in those losses, but yeah, they lost at home to Mizzou. They lost on the road to Vanderbilt, and their most recent loss on Wednesday night at Arkansas. So they've played some tough teams in the league. Like, it's
Right. I
not
mean,
like
those first two that they lost, Mizzou was the one that they should have got at home.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. They were favored in that game, but
Right.
every other game that they've played has been against a quality opponent. So it's
Absolutely.
not like they're slipping up a bunch against a bunch of slappies here in the SEC. It just look, they weren't as good as their record said, and we talked about it. It's a similar conversation of football, where it's like they took advantage of a very easy schedule, and
For
in football
sure.
you don't have to play every team, so you can ride an easy schedule all year long to some success. Basketball, well, eventually it's going to catch up to you because you got to play everybody at least once. And A&M was taking down some not so good teams early on in conference play. But when the schedule toughened up and they had to play teams like Alabama and Florida and Vanderbilt and Arkansas, well, they've started to come back to the pack a little bit.
Yes, they have.
But look, A&M is going to be favored in this game tomorrow. And Ken Pom has this as a 3-point victory for Texas A&M. So this will be an upset. This is not a game that Texas is supposed to win. Now, I'm with you. It is a game that they can win. I don't think A&M is significantly better than Texas. I'm not sure A&M is any better than Texas. But again, you're on the road, hostile environment. The Aggies are in a better spot in the eyes of the tournament committee than Texas, but it's not like, they can't mess around and miss the dance altogether if they continue their floundering. So they're going to be animated, motivated, pumped up, and ready to roll. The Longhorns, they've got to bring it tomorrow, Buck. It's that simple.
Yes, for sure.
And they got to bring it for 40 minutes because the last two losses on this 2-game slide, the L at Georgia and then obviously the Florida game a few days ago, they've played great for 32 or 33 minutes. They've been in the game, and then they've just collapsed down the stretch. Like, I don't think this is going to be a blowout either way tomorrow. So I expect this to also be anybody's ball game with about 8 minutes left. You've got to make sure that you don't.
This team needs to learn how to win those type of games against those type of teams. They're too good to keep losing to a team like this. This is a game they should win. They have to find ways to not just win those games, but not have a nasty looking game. Just beat them. Just go beat them,
Go beat them. Yeah, and look, during the 5-game win streak, they were finding ways to win games.
Right.
So it felt like they had
turned
right. Yeah, you felt like they had turned a corner in that department. But again, obviously Florida's on a different level than everybody else in this conference right now. But
this team is not good enough that they can just go pound a team in one aspect. They can do some things offensively, but in their whole game and their entire game, the rebounding, the defense, they don't do that to teams. They have a little lull in what they do at certain parts. Even at times with as good as their offense is, somebody will stop scoring, and then that dude won't not only stop scoring on offense, he won't play any defense either. So that hurts the team. So they have to find a way to get over that. I mean, that's one of those deals that takes you more than 1 year to get to, where you're playing good all the time. And when you play teams like A&M, who everybody thinks they're just kind of like you just go beat them,
Yeah, well, next year's great, but this team doesn't have next year. This team has 3 games left in the regular season.
It will change, and the look of the team will change. College basketball every year, it will change.
Yeah, it'll be a completely different roster next season. So this team, again, they're never going to be an elite defensive team. They're never going to be a great defensive team. I don't know if they're ever going to be a good defensive team. Can they just not be bad? Can they be an average defensive squad? If they're that, then they can beat A&M tomorrow on the road. And heck, they can not only make the tournament, they could win a game in the tournament. But if
A&M will have those big dudes again. They'll have those brutes that play inside. How will they battle with them?
Right. No, in the game in Austin, I mean, Rayshon Agee had 17 and 11, and he got the better of Modest Vokatitis in that one. And Texas just couldn't hang down low. And in that game, it wasn't the end. In that game, it was like the the middle 8, last 4 minutes of the first half, first 4 minutes of the second half, where Texas just really struggled, and A&M was able to, Texas was leading for a lot of the first half in that one. A&M was able to take a lead and extend it, and then the Longhorns were playing catch up for the rest of the second half. Like, I mean, it almost feels like Texas picks a different quadrant, 4-minute quadrant, to like struggle in every game.
Yeah, I like what Vogtitis is doing early in the games. He's not getting that early hack. He's saying, you go ahead, take 2 points. I'm not going to put my hand over the top of you trying to make some block shot because I'm 7 feet. If you beat me, you beat me. I don't like to see him get beat, but sometimes, he'll get beat early and then he'll hack. But he has the last couple of games, he hasn't just hacked the guy. And then, whether the guy misses it or not, there's two fouls and he's sitting on the bench. He's been pretty good at that. And I hate letting guys go by me, but at some point you have to say, what's better for the team? What's better for the team is that when you're on the court.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think the recency bias is strong with your take there, but you're right. Against Florida, he did not commit a foul early on, which was great. I mean, Texas as a team did not commit a foul for the first 9 minutes of that game, which was awesome. But yeah, you're right. Like he's got to stay out of foul trouble. Look, Texas just doesn't have a lot of depth. So Swain can't get in foul trouble. Modest can't get in foul trouble. If those guys have to sit for extended periods of time, then this team they're in trouble. And I'd really like to come on the show Monday and talk about a great Tremont Mark performance, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and getting ready to go into tournament play, that would be fantastic to talk about him.
Yeah.
All I've been talking about him is the fact that I think he's lazy on defense. If he's scoring on offense, that's great. He should score on offense. He's 37 years old. He should be scoring. He should be playing old man playground ball somewhere. So he should score on these guys. But he's too good of an athlete to not defend the way he can. I mean, he's just his feet are too good, except when the game comes.
Yeah, I love how Tremont Mark has gone from 24 years old to 37 in the span of 2 days on this show.
Well, his defense has now lately turned into a guy who's 37. That's what he looks like.
Yeah, it's a struggle.
He can still shoot the jumper. When he gets on a roll, that's fine with me. I like seeing those little 15 footers, and I don't mind seeing him shoot the 3. But, dude, when he tries to defend and the guy starts to get past him a little bit and he kind of stops, I'm like, dude, do something. Hit that guy in the back of the head or something. Don't stop and start going the other way.
Yeah. It didn't play out in the first meeting between these two teams, but Texas is the better rebounding team. Texas does a great job of getting to the free throw line. A&M struggles at defending without fouling, kind of like Texas does. So there are some advantages on paper in this matchup for the Longhorns.
So we're looking for at least 40 fouls in this game at A&M.
Yeah, probably.
They don't have AB consultation, so they're not going to get all the great calls that they should be getting, like Texas gets at home. Because Tom doesn't. Well, Tom will go to College Station. He'll go that far.
Go that far, I think. Yeah, look, there's a Pluckers in College Station, so I know Tom's been out there.
There you go.
He does all the TVs for the Pluckers around the state too.
They don't know how to get to the officials, though.
I hope you're right. It's gonna be physical, and look, Texas, they find a win. They're in a very, very good spot. Again, they've got 3 games left. 1 win and you're okay, but you really like to get 2.
Yes.
And, before the final 5, we were talking about, okay, let's just go 2-3 in these final 5 games and we're going to be really good. And, well, now it's 2-1 in your final 3. You've lost your first 2. So can you find 2 wins here? The easiest game is the regular season finale against Oklahoma. The second easiest game is tomorrow because your other one is a midweek at Arkansas. Arkansas is the second best team in the conference, I think, behind Florida.
They're on a roll right now.
They're playing some good ball. Heck, they just beat A&M a couple of days ago pretty bad. So, this is the one. If you're going to get 2, it feels like this one in Oklahoma. And look, you're beating your rivals, so I don't have to make too much of a case for why you should want to beat these 2 teams down the stretch.
Yeah, and that's not to say that you still won't get in the dance, right?
If you lose out, you're probably not going to make it, unless you go on a big run in the SEC tournament in Nashville. If you go 1-2, like if you lose to the Aggies again, you lose to Arkansas, and you beat Oklahoma, then
right.
You might be in Dayton in the first 4 again. And again, you might need to win a game in the SEC tournament to even get to Dayton.
Wow.
So look, you got the conference tournament. You don't want to leave it up to that.
No, you don't.
But like if Texas wins 3 games in Nashville, then all right, then they're a lock and they're not going to be in Dayton. And heck, it's not really going to matter what they do in the regular season, but you really don't want to leave it up to must-win games in Nashville.
Yep.
You can do that with 2 victories in these last 3. So there you go. Some Longhorn basketball. Nice win for the ladies last night, beating up on Georgia.
They're eating the dogs.
Yes.
Good job.
Thank you, Mr.
That was
President.
quick too. That was a quick meal too last night.
Oh, they feasted.
Thank you, ladies, for letting me go to sleep after the first quarter. Because when they said 9:00 tip off and they were just starting to do pregame, I'm like, there is no chance this game's starting in 2 minutes.
No, made for TV.
Made for TV is right.
Even if no
Let
one.
me ask you. Speaking of TV, let me ask you this question: am I hearing Rodney Terry's voice on the SEC some games?
I think he's called some games this year.
I swear I heard him the other night doing a game.
I don't know.
They never say his name. What's crazy is, you're so used to that scracky, that crackling voice, but they never say, "Oh, former coach of Texas." They don't do it. They don't do that for him. They don't give him that. You know what I'm saying? When they do the broadcast.
No, he's called some games this year for the ESPN family of networks. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's SEC games or smaller conference games or
SEC games. I think it's been some SEC games that Texas not involved, but they don't say the dude's name. I'm like, I know this voice. Say his name, will you please?
How often are they saying the announcers' names during the broadcast? You want every 30 seconds
to
say?
No. Some guy will say, "Oh, my partner Rodney here." I mean, I'm like, say that at least, because I don't catch it in the beginning. I catch it during the game, but I hear that gravelly voice. I'm like, that's that dude.
Well, that's the point. You just said it right there. You don't need to introduce Rodney Terry. His voice is so unique that
I know.
Everybody knows exactly who he is anytime he starts calling a game.
You're right.
How was he?
That's why I even asked the question. I said, I've heard that voice before.
How was he? Any good?
He's okay.
Just like as a basketball coach.
Yeah, he's just okay. He doesn't get overexcited, He tries to break it down for you, though. He tries to break down. I'm like, we should have broken it down a little bit better when you were actually being the head coach. He tries to break it down, but he doesn't get overexcited. He does a good job.
Okay, I could see him being all right in that role. Was he rocking the did you see him at all? Did they show him on camera?
No, they didn't show him. I would have known him by then.
The Gus Fring look.
It was just the voice.
Oh, man. Yeah, that is a very unique voice. It is distinguishable, to say the least. Way to go, RT. Glad he's making some money. He's getting paid by Texas, and he's making some money from ESPN now.
Yes.
Good for him. All right. We will take your thoughts. Go to text line 512-222-9328. The YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch live chats are rocking and rolling as well. We've got some interesting rule change proposals for college football that we'll get to. Some changes make sense, some not so much. We'll dive into that, plus some other football conversation here in a moment. But first, Buck, how about a few more sponsor shout-outs?
Folks, with my messed up back, getting the right support was always very difficult for me, but nothing gave me the comfort that my back needed. And then that's why I love Relax the Back. I went to the Relax the Back store, talked to the folks over at Relax the Back, and I have been fixed ever since. They've got everything that you need over there. Select zero gravity recliners, of course, select office chairs, plus the Tempur-Pedic pillows and mattress sets that are going to help you, whether it's your thoracic back, your lumbar area, your neck and shoulders. Let them help you out at Relax the Back with some of the accessories that they have too. Don't necessarily have to buy a recliner. They would like for you to buy that zero gravity recliner for sure. But if there's some accessories that are going to help you out on a daily basis, please go by the folks there at Relax the Back. In BK's at the Hill Country Gallery across from Whole Foods, and in North Austin at the Gateway Shopping Center right across the street from the Container Store. Live pain-free like the Buck at Relax the Back.
Yes, indeed. Love Relax the Back. Speaking of relaxation, shout out to Early Bird CBD.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man. So my mom was in town yesterday. Both of my folks were in town yesterday. And I gave my mom a Texas baseball jersey from Sue Patrick.
Sweet.
she bought it, but I picked it up for
It
her.
was, it was your thought. Yeah.
Yeah, that was her thought. I just, she paid for it, but I just went and picked it up, so we'll take it. But I also gave her some early bird CBD gummies because I know my mom has tried the CBD gummies in the past, and she's had mixed experiences.
Mhm.
And she texted me last night, "Wow, this gummy is powerful." And then she texted me this morning saying, "Woke up without a headache, a first for gummies." She's a believer in early bird CBD. She's about to buy some using our discount code Bucky. You're a believer in early
Oh,
bird
yeah.
CBD too, right? You take it before your golf games these days?
I'll take it before the golf game so that after that I've been out there, not only just in the cart, but walking around the golf course, that my knee and my back aren't bothering me. And I've had some really good success with it. I've had success other times where places go into business, then they go out of business. And all of a sudden you're looking for some CBD, whether it's oil or gummies to help you out. You can't find them. It's just too hard. Some of them give you way too much. They have a 10 of the THC that may be way too much for people who don't like they get nervous about kind of being a little buzzed. But for me, it's just a perfect blend. I get some relaxation out of it. I get to sleep a little bit better, but I get rid of some of the pain that I get after a round of golf or being out in the garden. That's the important part for me.
Stuff's legit. It's a local Austin company. Again, their gummies and tinctures are formulated with CBD, but also a micro dose of THC. So you're going to feel it, but you're going to feel good. It's going to take the edge off a little bit. Again, Friday night, I might pop one of these tonight too, watching a little Texas baseball. Take the edge off a little bit and whatever. If you're watching sports, a little Netflix and chill. Maybe you're going to Zilker or Barton Springs this weekend, something like that. Early bird CBD are going to make your days and nights even better. Don't forget that promo code Bucky. You're going to get 20% off your first order at earlybirdcbd.com.
Yeah, you don't lose touch of reality with those. That's what's great because you can do everything that you want to do.
You're not going to be seeing stuff with this.
No, dude. I've, growing up in the 70s and going to college and, taking a little hit of this or a little hit of that.
Oh, yeah.
I had always been when I had the THC, that even that BK would stay with me for hours on end. I was like, I wouldn't leave. I would have to do something, and then I couldn't go anywhere for like 6 hours. It made me paranoid. It made me off kilter, so I couldn't do it. This is a really nice blend to be able to go play around the golf, drive my car, not feel looking over my shoulder and eyeballs popping out. It was a great. It's so far so good, and because no matter what, I'll have to relax the back chair. But when I start swinging, but when you see me swing a golf club, when I start getting out there walking and swinging like I swing, like Arnold Palmer, like an old Arnold Palmer back in the day, it can be painful afterwards. But this has really given me the relief that, man, I need it.
There you go. Love that. Earlybirdcbd.com. Again, discount code Bucky for 20% off. All right, let's get to these proposed college football rule changes here, Buck.
Okay.
None of these are official just yet, but college football is discussing at least 3 rules that they could potentially amend starting here in the 2026 season. The good news, and one proposal that I hope passes, one of the worst rules in college football could be going away. Division I rule makers have proposed a 1-year trial rule, as I bang the microphone here, allowing a player disqualified for targeting to play in his team's next game, regardless of which half the penalty was assessed. So for years, the targeting rule has been, if you get ejected for targeting in the second half of a football game, then you have to miss the first half in your team's next game. It's been that way for a while. It's a joke. It's never made any sense to anyone. And under the proposal, this would go away. You'd still get tossed for the game if you are, disqualified for targeting. I guess that's what disqualified means. But there will be no carryover punishment into the next week.
Don't get any repercussions from that previous game. You just get to play. That's fine. That makes sense. I mean, what are we trying to do? Want to put the guy in jail next?
Sure feels that way.
Yeah, let's just move along. He's out of the game. I mean, that's good for everybody. It's good. Doesn't affect the next game. I like that rule.
Well, here's, what the NFL does, and college football is turning more into the NFL seemingly by the hour. The NFL doesn't eject people typically for, they don't have a targeting rule, but they've got the unnecessary roughness rule, and they won't eject people for that. Sometimes they'll fine them a couple of days after the game if they think they
Right.
crossed a line. And I wonder, in college football, should we maybe do that instead of ejecting people from these games?
Yeah, I like that. I like the decision to do that. They have the spitting rule. They don't play that in the NFL. You spit on a dude and they see it, you're gone.
Yeah,
They
I'm
just
fine
they
with that.
Yeah, they just flat out, they don't go, we'll talk to you later. They throw you out of those games.
You
If
do that. That,
officials
that happened in college too last
Yeah,
year
I
with
mean,
Florida against USF. It
that's
set up
right.
USF's game-winning score against them.
Dude, don't get caught spitting in a dude's face on the field and let an official see you. They don't play that.
No, if you're stupid, you can get ejected from an NFL
Right.
game. It's not impossible, but again, like for unnecessary roughness penalties or targeting penalties, they don't
Or
toss
cussing
you
a guy out penalties, yeah.
like they, and they shouldn't. I think look, this is a step in the right direction. Again, getting rid of that carryover is a right move, but I don't know if guys should be ejected at all. Now, if you do it twice in a game, then fine, throw the guy out. But for one instance of a targeting, especially if it's one of those where there's like nothing a defender can do, because it feels like a lot of times when they go to replay, it's like, well, the offensive player lowers his helmet. And
Yeah,
then
he's the one. Matter of fact, he's the one who hits the defender with his
right.
head.
He initiates the contact, or like it's a low throw, so he's got to reach down and the defender's head is already there and he doesn't have enough time to, move out of the way to
Right.
avoid the collision. Like it feels like you shouldn't even get ejected for something like that.
I agree.
So-
That's the one. And you're seeing it in every game. There's at least one in every game. There's not a game that you sit to watch football that there's not one of those, and you start going, "Oh God, he's gone." And then when they go to the replay, it's like you're out, you're done.
Well, then they go to the replays rules analyst in the broadcast group who never has any idea what the hell he's talking about. And it just confuses you even more. And
The crown of the helmet. A guy can hit you with his face mask and they call it the helmet, like the crown of the helmet. Where does the crown start? Where is the crown on the helmet? I see guys hit guys with their face mask and they get thrown out. They get called for targeting.
Right.
Your head is going to be a part of the game. No matter what you think, that helmet is going to be a part of the tackle. You just can't not go helmet to helmet,
I know. Sometimes it's unavoidable. And the fact that in the past you could get ejected from one game and miss a half of another game felt too harsh. But again, I still think it's too harsh to kick anybody out unless it's super malicious or over the top. But this is at least a step in the right direction. And this is a proposal. It hasn't been passed yet. And it's only a 1-year trial rule. But I don't think there's anybody, coaches, players, fans, that is in favor of the carryover punishment.
Oh yeah, and I love the way these guys go from targeting in the helmet to the shoulders and above. You can't hit a guy in the shoulder now. I'm like, wait a minute, you come with your shoulder pad, you hit a guy in the shoulder, and they're like, well, that's the shoulders and above. I'm like, what? Where am I going to hit this guy?
Head or neck area.
Running backs do more ducking, and they'll take their hand. Because I taught it, they'll take their hand and stiff arm you and stick you right in your face and turn your headgear, or sometimes even grab your hair gear. You have to reach back and you end up grabbing as a defender, and the penalty is going to be on you. How many offensive face mask penalties do you see that running backs who stiff arm guys ever get? They hardly ever get it. And they're the first ones to start the contact.
Right. Well, shoot. In terms of targeting, like you're talking about stiff arms, when running backs lower their shoulders, you have to lower your head to lower your shoulder. So a lot of times on these targetings that are called on the defense, it's the running back initiating the contact by lowering his head to meet the defender who's already trying to wrap up and make a tackle.
We care about their bodies.
No. Look, it's these rules. It's not just college football. This is football nowadays. They're made to screw the defense.
Yes.
We want points. We want scoring. That's what people like.
We don't want you bringing them to the ground or knocking them out.
This Super Bowl this year, right? Seahawks, Patriots. It was a defensive struggle. What was the 3-0 at halftime? Everyone's like, or 6-0 at halftime, whatever it was. Everyone's like, this game sucks. This is not fun. People do not like defense. They do not like low-scoring games. They want points. So the rules, I don't know if the leagues will ever come out and admit this, but I think it's as clear as day that the rules are in place to help the offense a lot more than the defense. So I'm glad this potential change at least helps the defense a little bit when it comes to targeting. That's one rule. There's two other proposals here. This one's pretty hilarious to me. We're talking about changes to the college football dress code, Buck. The rules subcommittee has proposed that players wear leg coverings that go from the tops of their shoes to the bottoms of their pants. Players would have to wear the same covering style and colors for the entire game. So no more legs being exposed.
On the short socks, you mean? They want you to pull them up?
You can't just have your pants and then like ankle socks. You've got to have the whole leg covered.
Yeah, well, that's kind of goofy. That's like going backwards. Just leave that one alone. For me, it's the ones without the pads and the pants. I've always couldn't. I mean, I've never been able to understand, running backs with no thigh pads on. I'm like, are you out of your mind? Why wouldn't you want to put a pad there? Officials used to check to see if you had your butt pad in to make sure that you didn't get hit down there, or in your butt, on your spine back there. That used to be a rule. Nobody wears any of that stuff. They just wear pants. They play football. You might as well be out there in your underwear playing and hitting gas. And it's just, I think they talk about protection, but no knee pads, no thigh pads.
Yeah, a lot of college football players nowadays will wear basically shorts instead of pants. Like they go to their mid-thigh instead of covering the knee. And the knee pad, they're like technically wearing a knee pad, but it's like 6 inches above the knee.
Yeah, I've never understood that rule. I thought that was a rule they would keep totally for safety. I know it's about speed. It's about the ability to move. But, dude, your speed isn't going to hurt you that much wearing your short shorts or a pair of those football pants that are tight enough with a thin layer over your knee or something on your thigh. They don't wear anything on your thighs. I mean, can you imagine getting a helmet in the thigh?
They are required to wear something. So they have something there, but sometimes they're just so thin or they're out of position that you don't even notice them, but they are required to wear those pads.
College players are. NFL players, I
don't
think.
NFL players are. For like 30 years, from like the 90s to the mid-teens, they didn't have to, and they changed the rule maybe a decade ago, maybe a little more than a decade ago, where like they have to wear those pads.
Dude, my fullbacks had those big thigh pads on. Ricky Williams had pads that looked like shoulder pads in his thigh. He already had big thighs, but then he put this big pad in for his thighs and his knees. Man.
He was pretty fast.
I started seeing guys like looking like they were naked running out there with their no socks on and the pants above their knee. I'm like, somebody's going to get hurt badly out here.
They're trying to correct that in college.
Good.
And players out of compliance with the rule would have to leave the game for at least one down to correct the issue. A team would receive a warning for the first offense. If a team has a second offense, they would be given a 5-yard penalty. Any subsequent offense would result in a 15-yard penalty.
Oh, please don't add more penalties for the Longhorns to get.
Oh, boy. Could you imagine? It's not just holdings and blocks in the back anymore. Now we're getting penalized for dress code violations.
Man.
Our pants aren't long enough. Our socks aren't high enough.
Man, oh, man.
So you've got that one. And then the last one, we might be getting the drop kick to college football. Under this proposal, a team could choose to attempt a fair catch kick after a completed or awarded fair catch. The kick would be a field goal place kick with a holder or a drop kick from the spot where the returner caught the ball. If the ensuing kick goes through the uprights, it would be worth 3 points.
And if they kick it and nothing happens, what happens? Does the ball go over to the opposing team then? You don't get to keep the ball or anything, right?
I don't think you get to keep the ball then.
Then you have to give it up again.
I don't know all of the rules of the drop kick. It happened with Digger the kicker with the Chargers a couple of years ago. It happened, and he made it because, of course, he did. But it's, in the NFL, you've been able to do this. I think in high school football, you've been able to do this. College is like the only level where you haven't. And again, it's so rare. I don't know if this one is going to really change anything in the sport. But that is the third big, if you will, rule change being talked about right now.
Yeah, Joe says, how about a timer for review? I'd love to have that go off. I'd love to have a timer goes off like loud over your TV set. Hey, it's not in. There's nothing to it. Let's go. We're moving along. Next play, please.
Yeah, that would be nice too. It just feels like that whole process can go a lot faster than it does.
I think it could.
I think that's an all sport thing. It's not just a college football
Yes.
thing. Where like you could just have enough people watching a play where within 20 seconds they could tell you, hey, it's a catch, it's not a catch. Hey, he was in bounds, he was out of bounds, whatever.
I think that's where it gets to be over officiated. You want to be seen on TV. You want to go over to the scores table. You want to get to the mic. You know how now they explain things?
Yeah.
They're making themselves seen. And, and people on TV will say, don't you like to get that from your officials where they're telling you everything that just went on? I'm like, no, I don't need it. Just tell me a ball going to the defense. I don't need him to tell me this rule 37-52. I don't need it. I don't want it.
The issue with college football, and you're right, that's a basketball thing, but with college football, anytime there's a review, they go to break. Yeah, so it's not a refs wanting more airtime thing. It's the refs are being told ESPN would like us to go to commercials here, so let's go ahead and take 3.5 minutes. Pretend, even though you already know what the rule is in 30 seconds, just stand there for like 3 minutes, and then when the TV cuts back for break, act like you're putting the headset away, and then you make the call, please.
Yeah,
that's the issue. That's the issue.
They're selling right there. They're selling.
Of course. Yeah, no, that's the networks. And that unfortunately is not going away. I agree with whoever made that comment, Joe K. I agree with you. Nobody likes super long replay reviews, especially ones that are so obvious. The first time you watch the replay what the call should be, but it's, we're going to take a look at this one and we'll be right back.
Yeah, basketball is going to the point of they want you to like the officials because of the explanation that they come to the table and give now to the entire, to the whole arena. They give the explanation. Wasn't that fantastic explanation there, Bob? I'm like, I don't give a rat's ass about his explanation. Tell me if I got the ball or they got the ball. Let's move along here.
Yeah, nobody likes those explanations. Nobody cares.
No.
We're not here for the refs.
No.
We are here for the players. Let's play the game.
Let me guess what rule that is in the book. You don't have to tell me.
The announcers can tell us. We don't need you to tell us.
Yes.
Stripes, get back and try not to suck as much as you do, please.
There you go. Now you're letting them have it.
Instead of focusing on being a comedian during these replay reviews, why don't you just focus on getting some calls right so we don't need the replay reviews in the first place?
Because your boys want to hug up to you on the network. They're going to hug up to you and tell you how great you are. What a great job you're doing explaining everything to the viewers out there. Viewers don't care.
Oh, and that's coming to baseball, by the way. They're doing that in spring training right now in Major League Baseball, the ABS challenge system, where batters or pitchers or catchers can immediately challenge an umpire call by just tapping their hat or their helmet, and they show it on the Jumbotron. It's not like a long review. You don't go to break, but they'll show it on the Jumbotron, and then
those baseball umps, they're going to hate that. They're going to hate you when you do that to them. They're going to show you up, and they're going to tell you. You don't think those dudes are not going to talk?
Well, the issue is each team is allowed, I think, 2 failed challenges per game. So you get unlimited. If you get it right, I guess you could challenge 40 times on balls and strikes. But I guess you have to time them wisely if you're in Major League Baseball. But we're getting more reviews. I think baseball, and I've watched a little spring training so far, and they've had this in the minors in recent years, so I've seen this a couple of times. It's a lot faster, and there's no commercial break when they go to review. So I'm hoping that college football and the NFL will take some pointers from their baseball counterparts, and it's maybe we could just get this done really quickly and not at a 3.5-minute commercial break here. But again, it's probably not going to happen because Money is everything in these sports nowadays.
So those are the two basic ones right there.
Well, those are the three.
Three of them.
Only one of them is that big of a deal, the targeting thing. The other one's the dress code. No one really cares about that. And then the drop kick rule, which, again, I don't know how often we'll even see that come into play. Those are the big proposed rule changes right now.
Well, I'm surprised that the college game hasn't got into the kickoff return things like the NFL too, because can you imagine trusting those college officials to knowing where the ball hits and all that stuff, or who's offside? You know, they'd be dropping flags for guys starting too soon. Like every other kick, they would drop a flag. So it's another way for Texas to be penalized. Let's not get into that one. I'm surprised they haven't got to that yet, though.
Yeah, you're right. NFL's got their new kickoff rules, but college still has the old school real kickoff. Which
I'm interested to see if the NFL is going to stay with that. I wonder if the injuries, the kickoff return injuries, are down on both sides of it. Guys going down and guys getting hit. I wonder if that's hell. I've seen guys get hurt doing what they do now.
Yeah, the injuries are down, but also touchbacks are have been up. I think this past year they were better. I think teams, because the NFL changed the rules even more to where it's like, if you just want an automatic touchback, we're going to bring the ball out to like the 35.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Once again, the offense is we want the offense to get a good start.
Yeah. So I don't think they're going to change the kickoff rule back to what it was anytime soon. And we did get more returns this past year, which is a good thing. Now, some people are mad because it's not the same type of kickoff. It's not the same returns, but I think the NFL has been pretty satisfied with.
Yeah, I just wonder if the college game will change that. I'm not saying I don't like the rule. I like it. I don't need the big collisions on the kickoffs. There are some returns there, and you have to scheme that up to get these returns. Taking the ball out to the 35 is like, damn, man, for these NFL offenses, wow.
Yeah, exactly. So they want, that people were mad. And the NFL paid attention to their fans. I'll give them credit for this. People were mad early on that there's way too many touchbacks and this isn't fun. So they changed the rules to give us more returns.
Yes, they did.
Now, college football, I mean, look, in the bowl game against Michigan, like Texas couldn't kick the ball out of the back of the end zone, and Michigan kept starting with great field position because we couldn't kick it far enough.
Well, the kicker couldn't kick it out.
In college, I think the game plan is still like, if you can have a touchback, let's have a touchback.
For sure.
And, maybe people like that. I'd prefer to see some more returns. But with Texas's special teams play, I would prefer to see less returns.
Well, I would like to see more niblet.
Oh, yeah, more Texas returns, but not more teams playing Texas returning.
No.
That was a problem last year, especially after, Will Stone left in the middle of the season. So there you go. All right, let's talk some Texas football here as we have football on the brain. One more piece of sound I want to get to here from Steve Sarkisian's Monday press conference. We've been playing clips of this throughout the week on this show, but Steve Sarkisian was asked about Cam Coleman and how the top-rated transfer wide receiver from Auburn has done so far in his first month and change on campus. And I kid you not, Buck, Steve Sarkisian spoke about Cam Coleman for 2 minutes and 40 seconds, just raving about him, who he is as a person, the kind of player he is, the work ethic that he's brought to the table, basically take up an entire segment. So we're not going to play the entirety of Sark's response, but here is, if I can find it, Steve Sarkisian talking about, here it is, Cam Coleman.
This guy's going for it. And he came here with real intentions and a real reason of understanding he wants to compete for a national championship, and he wants to put himself in the best position to get ready for the NFL. And he came to a pro-style offense for a reason. We've obviously had a pretty good recent history of receivers getting drafted now into the NFL fairly highly. And so he understands why he came. He understands, hey, I need to put my work in so when those two guys come back and Khalil Lockett continues to develop and Dalen McCutcheon and all these other aspects of our team, that I need those guys to play really well so I don't get double coverage all the time. But they need me to play really well so they don't get double coverage all the time. And surely if we're all playing really good, now the running game can be a lot better because now we're getting split safety defense, and now it's one less guy in the box that Raleek and Hollywood and Derek and Michael, and it's one less guy that the offensive line has to block. And so the whole thing ties together. And so the understanding that he had of all of that, I think, was probably the most impressive thing to go along with the individual that this guy is. This guy is he's an awesome individual, and I look forward to y'all getting to spend some time with him because I think you're going to be very impressed.
Yeah, I mean, he sounds like the kind of guy that you want on your football team. I don't know if it's all of the things he said, and he's all about Lockett and those guys. I don't know about all that. I just know he made a business decision and a wise decision to come and play in this type of offense, considering where he was. That guy was going to get drafted high where he was. If he ended up catching 12 balls for the year at Auburn the following year, he's just that good. But the things that I've seen at Auburn where he could have been one of these frustrated superstars, he just played the game, which wide receivers, running backs, those kind of prima donna guys, they start getting pissed when they don't get a certain thing happening to them. He just didn't seem like the kid that complained about it. He just knew how good he was. When he gets to the next level, he's going to be good anyway. So yeah. I kind of like that about him. He doesn't go, he makes great catches. He makes acrobatic catches. The 50-50 balls are like 80-20 for him. And then he just goes on. He doesn't stand around dropping balls on defenders and acting that way. He just plays the game. I've not seen anything that shows me that he's a knucklehead when he was at Auburn on an offense that he was the best player, probably maybe the best player on the team, period.
Yeah.
He just played the game. So, yeah, that's nice to know he's a good person, but I don't know if it's all those things that Sark is saying. I just didn't know he made a good business decision by coming here.
Well, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said he's not a prima donna and he's not a diva. And those are words that you use often when talking about elite players at that position. And that's
Sure.
exactly what Cam Coleman is. So Steve Sarkisian's like, well, Ryan Wingo is hurt right now and Emmett Mosley's hurt right now. So those guys aren't really practicing. And Cam Coleman, instead of being like, well, if those guys aren't playing, I don't need to be playing right now. It's just winter workouts. Who the hell cares? Like, I'm going to be a top 10 pick in the draft next year, regardless of what I do. So I don't need to go through all of this stuff. He's like, no, I'm going to put my head down and go to work. Like, I'm in a new place. I want to prove that I deserve playing time. I want to earn my spot on this team. And I want to show y'all what I'm all about. And that sounds like leadership right there from Cam Coleman. And it sounds like he's already taking one of those roles in his first month and change on campus of the University of Texas. So I really like hearing that.
Yeah, and as I said, I didn't notice anything about him when he was at Auburn and he was a superstar there, even though they didn't have a quarterback, that he acted any different than you expect, a mature guy to act trying to get to the NFL.
Yeah. Look, it's a contract year for Cam Coleman. I mean, he's one of those guys that from the moment he got to Auburn, he was going to be a 3-and-done college football player. Sure. And he's going into year 3. And like you said, I mean, he made a wise business decision. Did Texas pay him a boatload of money? Of course, he's making a lot of NIL money. There's no doubt about that. But it wasn't, we heard early on in Cam Coleman's recruitment, like right after he entered the portal, that it wasn't all about the money for him. He wanted to go to a place with a good offense, with a good quarterback, and a team that had a shot to compete for a national championship. Obviously, Texas has all of those things. So he realizes that, hey, if I have a great year at Texas, then I could end up being a top 5 pick in the draft. And I could put up some great numbers with Arch Manning and the Steve Sarkisian offense. And look at all these other wide receivers that Sark has developed and sent to the league. Hell, he had a wide receiver win the Heisman Trophy back in 2020. Like, maybe I could be that guy. So it was a very calculated decision by Cam Coleman. And again, it doesn't seem like he's treating this as I can literally do whatever I want and I'm going to be a high draft pick.
I can't see him just acting like some superstar that is not going to give you the effort that he would give you any other time or at any other place. I think he'd give the same kind of effort no matter where he is. He just seems like that's who he is. I like that.
And whether Steve Sarkisian is, being 100% accurate with his comments there, I mean, he's true. I don't know how Cam Coleman feels about it, but Cam Coleman is going to benefit from all of the other talented players that Texas has on offense. He's never been a part of an offense which is with as much talent as the Longhorns will have in 20 years.
He's truly going to benefit for the guy who's underneath the center.
Yeah, that's of course. Oh, my God. Arch Manning compared to Peyton Thorne or Jackson Arnold. Yes. It's a night and day difference right there. Yes. Also, Steve Sarkisian compared to Hugh Golfer Freeze is I should say huge golfer. That would make more sense. night and day difference there too. But also, yeah, it's the two running backs. It's Ryan Wingo. It's Emmett Mosley. It's Khalil Lockett. It's Sterling Burkhalter. It's Dalen McCutcheon. It's Jermaine Bishop. I mean, there is talent at the wazoo for this Texas offense right now. And look, maybe opposing defenses say, I don't care about those other guys. I'm not letting Cam Coleman beat us. We're going to double him on every single play. I just don't think teams are going to be allowed to do that against this Texas team for 60 minutes at a time because they have too many other weapons that can beat you. So if the other guys are eating, that means Cam Coleman's going to be eating even more.
For sure. For sure, yeah. They're not going to spend their time putting 3 guys on that dude and have these other guys that are pretty talented people just tear you apart. They're not going to let that happen. They're not going to let the quarterback, and you're running with your back always to the quarterback and him running down for 150 yards a game of what he can do. No, they're not going to do that. He's going to get his double teams that time. He's going to get their best defender on him, but he's also going to have some times where they got to defend everybody else too, and you're not going to get so great a defender on you.
Right, yeah, exactly.
So you want a guy who can get you the ball.
And they've got a guy who can get him the ball. And, yeah, man, again, this whole offense obviously has to be in sync. And I think if the Longhorns especially can get back to having a good, consistent running game, they didn't have one this past year, and I think it impacted Arch and just the entire Texas passing offense as a whole. If they can run the ball consistently well and force defenses to drop an extra defender in the box, that's just going to make life so much easier for Cam and for Ryan and for every receiver on this Texas roster. So
no doubt
it could be a special year. Cam Coleman, by the way, in 2025, 56 catches, 708 yards, and 5 touchdowns. You feel like his numbers are going to improve here in 2026?
Oh, I believe so. I believe the totals will for sure, and I believe the touchdowns will too.
Yeah, I think he's got a shot to be a 1,000-yard guy here.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if Texas gets back to the playoff and they can win a couple of games in the playoff. Like, I'd be very surprised, assuming Cam Coleman stays healthy, knock on wood, that if he's not a 1,000-yard plus receiver this year.
Yeah, I have no doubts about what he can do. The other guys, it's how they fit in. It's not how he fits in. It's how those other guys. That guy's a star.
Yeah.
And like I said, he was a star at Auburn when he didn't have anybody, when he had the equipment guy throwing balls to him during games. I mean, he really was. He didn't have enough guys that could get the ball down the field to him. He's got a guy who can get it down there because that guy gets up and gets the ball. He's aggressive towards the football when the ball's in the air. I like that about him.
If the offensive line can just hold up long enough to allow Arch Manning to throw those deep balls, because, I mean, that's a superpower for Arch. And, yeah, Cam Coleman's great down the field at those 50-50 balls too. So, if there's time for those plays to develop, then there could be some explosiveness added to this offense that, again, just wasn't there consistently enough in 2025.
And I think the head coach is going to show that very early in the season. He's not going to play around. He's going to let you know that he has weapons, and he's not going to, let's wait till we get to SEC play. I think he's going to let his offense known immediately because he's got something to prove too. He wants to let people know I'm calling the plays here. I don't want any more doubts about who's going to call plays in the future. I'm calling plays this year, and as long as I'm the head coach, I'll be calling plays. Because when that time comes and that pressure comes on him, that it's to that point, I don't think he'll be the head coach at Texas.
Oh, we know who's calling the plays. There's no doubt. He has let us know numerous times that he is the guy who is calling the plays.
Yeah, I never in my mind when all this pressure was talked about last year that he would think about somebody else doing it. I just don't ever. I never thought he'd be the guy coaching here when that time came.
Yeah, well, I don't want it to get to that point.
No,
okay?
I don't either.
It'd be nice for Sark to prove all of his doubters wrong and go out and lead Texas to a national championship while he is calling the plays.
Yeah, and I may not be right about this, and I know, as you know the numbers that you say, nobody's doing this in college football where they're calling the plays and winning national championships. I would just think that person and that personality would be, if I'm not the guy calling them, you probably need to have another guy.
Yeah, well, hopefully it doesn't get to that point.
Yeah, I don't want it to get. I don't want it to get to that point, but I just think if it does get to that point, he won't be the guy.
Maybe. All right, we'll take your thoughts. The code of text line 512-222-9328. Ryan Roberts is going to join us from Indy in a moment. He covers the NFL draft for A to Z Sports. Before we chop it up with him, Let's give another round of sponsor shout outs.
As I said, folks, our friends at Woods Comfort Systems, yesterday, this air conditioning was cranked up because it was hot up here. But my Woods Comfort Systems and my unit is working properly like I expect it to, because they come out twice a year to make sure everything's working the way it should be, working properly. And they'll not only do that with air conditioning, folks, they do that with heating too. And now they're doing it with plumbing. Trust them to do your plumbing inside or outside. If you have a problem, don't go to a specialist. They are specialists. Their technicians are fantastic. They do a great job with their contracts and people coming out on time and getting things done. You don't have to touch anything. Don't you try to do it yourself. I don't even attempt to do it. I just call on Woods, make an appointment with them, and they're there. And I only need them twice a year, a part of the contract, because nothing has ever gone wrong with my system, thanks to the folks at Woods Comfort System. Close to 70 years or 70 years right now, folks. They have been doing this in Central Texas, and nobody does it better.
Which one is it? Close to 70 years or 70 years?
Okay, if it's close, it might as well be 70, right?
Just going to round up?
I'm going to round up, yeah.
I think
because I was kind of close to 70 in 2020. In 2025, I was like close to 70 years. So it's 26. So I'm going to go 70 years now. How's that?
Yeah, they're at 70 years now. 70 years in business here in Central Texas.
My age. It's my age.
Your age. That's amazing. God, they've been around a long time. Oh, man. Speaking of guys who have been around a long time, Tom McKay. He's not as old as you. And his company's not as old as Woods Comfort Systems, but they're coming up on 4 decades here in Central Texas. So they've been around a long time, and they do elite work. I mean, they are the best of the best when it comes to installing custom audio, video automation systems in the comfort of your own home. Y'all hear us talk about our TV setups all the time. I've got the 4TV man cave. It's what I always wanted as a kid. My dreams turned into reality thanks to AV Consultations. Buck's got the 85-inch TV that he talks about. They can do home theater rooms with surround sound speakers. They can do patio TV setups for outside. They can do those like artwork frame TVs. Don't you have one of those, Buck?
I do. Yeah, downstairs. I've never used it as a TV.
They can do that. Yeah, maybe you won't even use it as a TV. Get you a nice piece of artwork, whatever. AV Consultations has your back. All you have to do is give them a call, 512-255-8678. They also do a whole home lighting, surveillance systems to keep you and your loved ones safe. They can even install a golf simulator in your home. Really, there's nothing they can't do. It's why they've been around since 1988. Call them, 255-8678. You can find them online at avconsultations.com. All right, I see him in the waiting room. Oh, disappeared. We're getting a new setup. Ryan Roberts will join us here. He covers the NFL draft for A to Z Sports, and he's out in Indy. It's crowded over there, so trying to find a good spot to chop it up with us. Any luck, Ryan? Can you hear us?
All right. Hey, guys. Yep, some luck. Horrible technical issues this morning, though, so I apologize so much for the not the best interface here right now. My apologies.
Dude.
I like you on the move, man. That's action photos we got right now.
Dude, I found a solid spot, but then my laptop wasn't connecting to the internet, so I had to completely just man. We obviously we do a lot of things on technology, but we are the victim of technology so often now. It is horrible, absolutely horrible here right now. Yeah.
Amen. Amen. Well, before we kind of deep dive into some of the players and some of your biggest storylines at the Combine, just overall buzz, vibe, what are people talking about the most through these first couple of days in Indy this year, Ryan?
Yeah, I think it's the separation at the top of the defenders, right? When we talk about Ruben Bain Jr. out of Miami, when you talk about Arvell Reese out of Ohio State, when you talk about David Bailey out of Texas Tech, obviously we just saw their on-field testing yesterday, and they are going to be nitpicked every part of the process, right? From the measurements to the medicals to the interviews to the on-field to the production to the upside. Everything's going to be talked about for a ton of time. Usually this time of year we're talking a lot about quarterbacks, but it's just not like the best quarterback class, obviously, if Fernando Mendoza, and then not much else after that. You're trying to decide if Ty Simpson is quarterback too and how high he ends up going in this class. But I think it's really kind of been stolen by the linebacker Arvell Reese / edge Arvell Reese / defensive end group at the top to kind of separate that group.
Let me ask you this, Ryan, is when you talk about injuries from guys that have had long seasons and a lot of guys didn't play in bowl games and stuff like that, are there guys there that are just for injury purposes just going to wait till they get back to their to their colleges and have their pro days there and just saying, I'm still kind of banged up. I don't want to take a chance. I may lose money by doing this at the combine.
Yeah, it's funny because we actually have had some high profile guys that have decided to test this year early on, right? Talking about like Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese, but yeah, I mean we're always going to have that, especially with like the longer college football season now. So we're seeing guys like Jordan Tyson, Cornell Tates, kind of those top couple wide receivers, Mansour Delane, cornerback at LSU, Jermod McCoy out of Tennessee. Like they're different reasons for everybody, right? Like I think in like Jermod McCoy's case, he's still coming back from that ACL and he wants to make sure he's completely healthy for when he does test at the pro day. Mansour Delane, I think, is just trying to be in his home turf to run that 40 that everyone's going to be kind of watching about, right? So there's a lot of different reasons for it. But yeah, I mean, as always, there's some guys that are going to choose to do it on their home turf.
NFL draft analyst Ryan Roberts joining us here on Bucky and BK. Ryan, we're here in Austin, so I'm going to be selfish and ask you about a Texas Longhorn. Anthony Hill participated yesterday, tweaked the hammy a little bit, so was unable to do the on-field workouts, but a very impressive 40 time. Love to get your thoughts on his performance yesterday and also just your overall thoughts on him as a prospect here in this draft.
Yeah, he's an interesting one because obviously going into the year, he was talked about a lot in like that linebacker one conversation for what he did his first couple years in Austin, but he did test very well. I think there were some scouts that were even tested a little better than they anticipated. I think a lot of scouts were thinking like in the 40 time, probably like mid high 4.5s. So running that 4.5 low was a really good number, right? So I think that he showcased himself well. I think the biggest question for Anthony Hill is just going to be like role wise on the NFL level. Where do some teams see him, right? Like, is he a true Mike? Is he a guy that's going to play some Sam potentially in some like 4-3 alignment? Is he going to rush off the edge at times? Because he was a guy that was best going forward, right? Like blitzing from interior and even coming back on ball at times to a degree, right? So I think that because we heard a lot before the season, I don't know if you guys heard a lot about it, but like there were some teams before the season that were like, I kind of like him more on edge than compared to the linebacker position. Now, I think that's kind of settled. Mostly people see him as a true inside linebacker on the NFL level, but I think he had a really good athletic showing, and if he has good process, he's going to be in high contention to potentially be that early day 2 linebacker that ends up going.
You know, Ryan, when you talk about these edge rushers and, you know, you're talking about their arm length and everything else, and, you know, like Ruben Bain with the little short arms, but they're productive. They get it done. They find ways to get it done once they get to that level. A lot of guys have done that. That seems to always be the talk at the combine because the combine's about numbers. I mean, so it's going to be the talk. And when you're a little bit of short arm guy and you're rushing against these 6'7", 6'8" guys on the tackles, they get their hands on, get their paws on you, and you've got short arms and you're trying to swim technique and they're slapping you around the place. Is that kind of the talk on the rushers that are there now too? Do they still do that an awful lot?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, especially with Ruben Bain, obviously, right? Because Bain is, he's a historical outlier. I mean, him coming in with 30 7/8 inches, like since 1999, there has not been a productive edge rusher with sub 31-inch arms to be a guy on the NFL level, right? So you are kind of discerning what matters and what doesn't matter this time of year. Like when it comes to Ruben Bain, I don't think it's just the arm length, right? Like we've hyper focused on the arm length. I think you have overcompensating traits to get away from the lack of length, the ability to play outside your frame. So like, do you have great closing speed? Do you have great bend? Do you have great power? Like that's kind of the conversation points we're having this year, every single year. I feel like people just like hyper focus on just the arm length, but in reality, is it a hindrance when you bake in the rest of the athletic traits? Because at the end of the day, it's going to be it's a game of space in today's NFL. So are you able to cut down the space as much as possible and be able to finish plays? That is always the conversation point this time of year. And arm length, hand size for quarterbacks, those are the niche things that we always talk about this time of year.
No doubt. Ryan Roberts, NFL draft analyst for A to Z Sports, joining us here on Bucky and BK. Ryan, Fernando Mendoza, I mean, it feels like he is a lock to be the number 1 overall pick in the draft. How good is he? What do you think about him as a prospect? Maybe an NFL comparison, obviously coming off a tremendous year, won the Heisman, won the national championship at Indiana. Is he as good as some of the other quarterbacks who have gone number 1 recently? How does he stack up kind of to some of these recent young QBs in the NFL?
Yeah, I think when you talk comps with Mendoza, a lot of the 2 names that usually get talked about most are Jared Goff and Matt Ryan. Like those are kind of like the ones that we talk about most. And I think there's a lot of validity to both. I mean, I think that Fernando Mendoza has enough functional athleticism to extend the pocket at times, but he is a guy that wants to win in the pockets. Like that is his game, obviously. I think like when we compare it to like the the Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May class. He's quarterback 4 in that class, in my opinion, right? So he's still a potential top 10 pick. Is he a guy that in a vacuum is going number 1 overall each and every year? Probably not, but he's a guy that I think the Raiders especially are looking at and saying, even if the ceiling isn't as high as some of the other guys we've had recently, we need sustainability for our franchise, right? Like we need to strengthen that floor at the quarterback position. I feel like we fall in love with the tools at the quarterback position a lot, but we don't talk about that floor and that sustainability and that dependability. That does matter, the ability to get the ball out of your hand fast. And I think he's well liked around the league. And typical years, he'd probably be a top 10 to top 15 pick. But in this year's class, there's not a great quarterback and it's not the best in terms of premium positions in general. He's the guy that's going number 1.
That's good, Ryan. And at the running back position, Notre Dame's running back Love, is he a guy that's going to surprise? He's not going to surprise a team that loves him, because I think he's going to be a great pro. I think he's going to get smarter, stronger. I mean, I don't know if he's going to get faster, because that dude is absolutely fast as can be. His ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. Did they worry about that at all? I don't know if he's a slash, third down guy. I know he catches enough balls, but is he the guy at that level, with the way he runs the ball? Is he able to get out and do some one-on-one things at the pro level, do you think?
So if you go back to like his high school time at Christian Brothers, he was actually a guy that we used a lot in the passing game. I just think functionally in the Notre Dame offense, they didn't highlight that for X, Y, and Z reason. So I actually think he is a guy that projects favorably as a 3-down back. Like when you're talking about comps, like a lot of people are talking about like Jahmyr Gibbs or Alvin Kamara, like some stylistic approaches of as a running back. He's 214 pounds. I'm sure he'll be a little bit lighter this week, probably around like 210 to run fast, right? But I really do think he has 3-down upside. And it's interesting, like the buzz this week, especially after like Tennessee traded for Jermaine Johnson and edge is obviously a big need. Everyone's talking about like, could Jeremiah Love go number 4 overall? Like that's conversation point that's continuing to happen. I think in a vacuum, not assuming positional value, I think Love has a great argument to be a top 2 player in this class, if not the best player by some. So I think he's going to go higher maybe than some people think, but it's going to depend on just how he does in the interview process. And hopefully, hopefully he breaks the 4 threes this week and he kind of showcases just how athletic he is.
That's awesome. Ryan Roberts, NFL draft analyst from A to Z Sports, joining us here. A couple more for you, Ryan. We know you got a boogie here in a minute. The Dallas Cowboys, pick 12. You keep talking about all these good players who are going to be off the board super high. Cowboys, where do you think they go, and who do you think maybe they're paying the most attention to up in Indianapolis this week?
I think cornerback is a spot to kind of keep a really close eye on. And I think that they are in a great range of outcomes at number 12 because Jermon McCoy, we could argue about like, is he helping himself or hurting himself by not participating at the combine? But I think there's a possibility that there is a world where the Dallas Cowboys at number 12 are staring at both McCoy and Mansour Delane, and they might have a pick of who they deem to be the best cornerback in this class. And I think if Jermon McCoy was healthy all year, and obviously he missed the season with the ACL, if he was healthy all year, though, I think we'd be talking about him as like a top 7 pick in this draft. Like, I think he's that good. So I think the Cowboys are actually in a decent spot where they might have their pick of which one of those players they like best. And who knows, man? Like, things get crazy on draft day sometimes. So does a Caleb Downs fall a few spots where like the Dallas is like, hey, maybe I want to jump up a couple to try to get him? I think upgrading the secondary, though, for Dallas is probably a priority pretty early in this class.
Well, we know what their other priority is. It's offensive linemen. So who are they going to take with that other first-round pick? They always do. Who will be available to them? They won't do it on the first one. They got to go defense on that first at 12. But that next first-rounder, it's going to be an offensive lineman from Georgia or Alabama. Who's there at that time, around that time, you think? On the offensive line.
You know what's funny is Bucky, I just put a mock them to take the offensive tackle with their second pick, and Dallas Cowboys fans called me an idiot. I was like, oh, really? I thought that would be a pretty – because for me, it's like Tyler Guyton hasn't been great so far. Terrence Steele had a rough season. I'm like, we could upgrade the offensive tackle position. Can we not? Like, I don't know. Funny enough for Georgia, though, Monroe Freeling, who is one of the biggest rises in this class, he played left tackle exclusively at Georgia, but he's a guy that could play right tackle, so he can play either spot. I think if you want to go in, I don't know if they want to go interior offensive line, with drafting Tyler Booker last year, but Vega Ione out of Penn State's a very good player as well. But I really think like a guy like a Monroe Freeling or maybe a Max Ihanacher who out of Arizona State in the back end of the first round, those are a couple guys that I would definitely keep an eye on for sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely. It's not. It's a definite. They're taking.
Thank
They
you.
don't bypass an lineman.
It's not that you're not smart, Ryan. It's that Cowboys fans have PTSD from all of the offensive linemen they've taken in the first round over the last 10 years. And it's, even though a lot of them have been good, like more often than not, they have been
they're
really good.
Yeah.
I think Cowboys fans are like, we are just so tired of being horrible every single year. So maybe let's do something different. So maybe that'll make us better instead. All right, last one for me, Ryan. I don't know if sleepers is the right question. Maybe it's just guys that you're most excited to watch over these next few days. Like, who maybe off the radar for some are you going to be paying the most attention to during your time at Indy for these on-field workouts?
Yeah, I know, fans want to see guys run fast, obviously, right? So, we kind of overvalue the testing just in general a little bit, just from, like, the league side of the conversation. But, I want to see Brendan Thompson from Mississippi State try to break the 40-yard dash record. Like, I want to see it, Like, he was very candid with it. I think his over-under on, like, most betting platforms is, like, 4.28. So, like, people think he's going to run exceptionally fast. But we talked about the running back with Jeremiah Love. I want to see Jeremiah Love run. I want to see Jadarian Price run. I want to see a separation at running back is kind of a thing that I'm interested in, because we know Jeremiah Love is what running back one. Who's going to be running back two in this class? Like, I think it's like 4 or 5 different guys that you can point to and say, like, that might be RB2 in this class, and how high does he go? So battling it out for running back two, I think, is another interesting thing to keep an eye on.
The thing for me, I think it's going to fall into place pretty much like I think it will. But I'm still curious about Ty Simpson and the up and down kind of year he had, and not having the great players around him. Because if he did, I thought he'd be exceptional. Where does he sit right now? He probably is going to be the second guy off, but who needs that quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few teams. I mean, we're just kind of assuming that the Jets take a position player at number 2, right? So I think at number 16, they have the 16th pick, then they have the 33rd pick. So, like, is that one of the 2 spots that they look at? We could look at there's a few teams, honestly, like the Rams in the back end of the first round to get ready for life after Stafford. Like, there's a few teams, but, like, the Jets have kind of piqued my interest because they have 3 picks in the top 33, right? Where you're just like, do they like Ty Simpson enough to pull the trigger at 16? Is there a guy, could they wait on him, or do they want to trade back into the end of the first round to make sure they get him? Ty's a very divisive prospect because at times he was awesome, and then other times he was pretty bad, right? So, like, there was a lot of peaks and valleys. He's a 1-year starter. We know the track record of 1-year starting quarterbacks and their translation in the NFL. It's not good. It's Mitch Trubisky and Mark Sanchez and, like, those kind of guys, right? So, like, it hasn't been easy. I think the good thing about Ty is that he is taking every opportunity this week. He's going to throw in front of Indy. Hopefully he weighs in a little bit heavier to kind of fill out that frame a little bit more. But he's going to have to answer some of those hard questions, man. Like, why was it so up and down? Why were you in a rush to go to the NFL even though you only have 15 starts under your belt? So I think he has a big week in front of him for sure.
All right, I lied, Ryan. One more quick one, only because we got a commenter ask it. Texans picking at 28. Obviously an elite defense. Made it to the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. Where do you think, and who do you think the Texans could be looking at 28?
I think it's best offensive lineman available. I mean, like, they need both interior and offensive tackle help potentially moving forward here. So I think whoever that best guy is, I met Max Iheanacho out of Arizona State is an interesting one. Monroe Freeling, if he gets to that point. Like, there's, if there's a Caleb Lomu out of Utah that's staring at you in the face. But I think the other sneaky spot is interior defensive line. Like, if there's one of the big noses like a Caden McDonald out of Ohio State that makes it to 28, I think it's an interesting pick. So I think the Texans should have a traditional sense of how to build a roster, right? Like, let's build it from the inside out. So I think either offensive or defensive line, I think, is an interesting spot for them.
Ryan, my last question for you is, there's so many talented dudes there. Downs out of Ohio State. Would he be in your top 3 just football players that are there right now at the combine that you can't make a mistake if you got him on your football team?
He's I think I don't have my list in front of me, but I think I have it like number 7, I think, overall. So, like, either way, he's a top 10 player in the class, which is a big thing for a safety position, obviously, right? Like, this is a very weird class where we don't have we have one quarterback that's going to go in the top 10, and then you have offensive tackle class is okay, not great. Defensive end class is solid, not great though. So some of the premium positions aren't tremendous, and we've had some, like, running back, safeties, guys that continue to move up the board, but Caleb Downs is maybe the highest floor player in this class. Like, there's no bust factor. He's a guy that's going to be a good player, at least in the NFL level. Maybe his ceiling isn't high as some people, but, like, I think a team's going to draft him early on in the first round, and they're just going to know he's
You
going
want
to
him
be a
on
good
your
player
team.
no matter what.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Ryan Roberts, NFL draft analyst for A to Z Sports, also the host of the best podcast available. Incredible name, by the way. Well done with that
Appreciate
one,
it.
sir.
Thanks so much.
Great stuff, man. Thanks so much for joining us. Hopefully we get the chance to do this again before the draft, but enjoy your time in Indy. And again, thanks for your time today.
Thank you,
Absolutely,
Ryan.
guys. Thank you guys for being patient and the
Thank you,
technical
man.
issues. I appreciate you. All right.
No
Have a good
problem,
one.
brother.
Thank you.
You too. There he goes. Ryan Roberts. Again, check out his work. You can also follow him on Twitter at Rise and Draft. Rise and Draft. Very good Twitter name. And yeah, obviously up there in Indy breaking everything down, Buck.
Yeah, Caleb Downs seems to be the guy, BK, for me that you can't go wrong. That you want that dude on your team. He makes your team smarter for some reason. I know you have to have needs, that you can't just take a guy because you don't have a need. But if you have a secondary need, a safety need, or you're thinking about, what else can this guy do? He can come off the edge. He can come down the guts. I mean, he just seems like the guy you want on your team. He makes your team smarter.
He's an awesome player. He's one of the top talents in this draft. And if he played a different position, he'd probably go higher. But, safeties just aren't deemed as valuable as some of the other spots on a defense or just on
I think
an
the
NFL
Cowboys,
role.
if the Cowboys took a shot at that dude, I'd be like,
No.
Amen.
He's not going to be there at 12. If he's there at 12, that's you run the card up and make the pick, right? But it'd be more of a miracle than CeeDee Lamb falling to the Cowboys than if Caleb Downs is able to fall to the Cowboys at 12. There are Dallas fans. Heck, Jake Bayless commented every day when we talk about the NFL draft. He wants the Cowboys to trade up to get Caleb Downs. That's how much he values him. And I know he's not alone. He's a freaking monster. Obviously, we got to see it. Unfortunately, we got to see it firsthand the last couple of years. But he is a difference maker on a defense for sure. And that Ty Simpson stuff is also fascinating because, he's QB2 in this draft, and there's a lot to like about him. He's got that prototypical size and arm strength, and there's some really good tape. Yeah, mobility as well. There's some really good tape from early in the year, but down the stretch, there's a lot of stuff that makes you scratch your head. And
for me, I think BK, I think he overcame what he had available around him. He was in that same. I mean, you thought Texas had a bad running game. My God, Alabama, had a. I think he overcame.
It was better than Texas's. It was bad, but it was better than Texas's. But yeah, and look, the other thing is the fact that he's only started for 1 year. That's a big part of why Arch Manning came back, even though he might have been the second quarterback taken if he left.
Sure.
It's typically, NFL quarterbacks who have multiple years of starting experience at the college level under their belt typically have more success.
Well, that's pretty proven. So that's the thing that's going to hold him back.
Yeah, so that's the question with Ty Simpson is can he sort of overcome what has been a not so good historical trend for 1 year college starters? All right, good conversation there. We got to get to the BBK news and end the show with some fun stuff, including Kim Mulkey in the news again.
What?
Oh, yeah. But
she didn't hurt anybody, did she?
She hurt some egos out there.
Oh, well, that should happen. Some egos need to be put in place.
Oh, just check my watch. It's a day that ends in Y. So, of course, she hurt somebody's ego. What she does. A few more sponsor shout-outs here real quick. Bug, you have any left?
Yeah, I say our friends over at Hat Creek. Say hello to the gang at Hat Creek. It's Friday. Mom and Dad, go pick the kids up at school. Take them over to Hat Creek. Get the burger. Get the shakes. Get the chili. Get everything that they have at Hat Creek. Get that, what is that, pizza burger that I have not gone to attempt. So make sure you get over there, get yourself a nice cocktail, get yourself a margarita, Mom and Dad, in the evenings while the kids are at the playscape. But at some locations, don't forget, folks, and do remember this, they do serve breakfast. And if you want a nice breakfast taco, or some pancakes, some of your locations do have that. Over 30 locations in the state of Texas, started right here in Austin, Texas. They have been getting it done for years. That's Hat Creek Burger Company.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to them. Also, some love to McCall Custom Homes. Our guy, Mike McCall, and his great team can hook you up if you are looking to upgrade your home in 2026. Look, you bought your place for a reason. You don't want to buy and sell and deal with all of that craziness. So why not just upgrade the current space that you already have? McCall Custom Homes can do that for you because they've been doing that in Central Texas for a long time. It's a father-son duo that has more than 4 decades of experience here in Central Texas. So again, they know what it takes to turn a Central Texas home into something truly special. They didn't start in California. They didn't start in Florida. They started here. They've stayed here. They know this area, and they know what it takes, again, to elevate your home. New kitchen, new bathroom. Maybe you've got a growing family you need to add on to your home. Maybe you want to add some life to your outdoor space. They can tackle it all. They're A+ rated by the BBP. The Buck has had a ton of work done at his place by McCall Custom Homes. We trust our homes to them. You should too. McCall Custom Homes, ATX.com, or you can call or text Mike McCall directly, 512-633-9580. And some love to Sleep Cycle Center as well. If you're dealing with snoring, if you are having trouble falling or staying asleep, daytime fatigue, you feel drowsy, you know it. If you're not getting enough sleep at night, like, oh man, I went to bed. I should have got 8 hours of sleep, but I feel horrible today. If that's you, or if that's your partner, reach out to our guy, Dr. Chad, the Sleep Cycle Center. 2 Austin area locations, one up north, 183 and Breaker, the other in Lakeway off of 620. They can make your snoring or sleeping problems go away forever. And it's not just CPAP. They do oral appliances. They have all sorts of technologies and procedures to, again, get rid of your snoring and get rid of your sleep apnea. It's a serious problem. It's not just annoying to the person next to you. It is something that can be a major health threat. People have lost their lives. Hell, NFL Hall of Famer Reggie White lost his life from undiagnosed sleep apnea. Don't let that be you or the person you love. You mentioned Bucky and BK at Sleep Cycle Center. You're going to get $100 off an at-home sleep study. SleepCyclecenters.com is their website to sign up for a consultation.
Very nice.
All right, Buck. The BBK news, an abbreviated version here at the end of a Friday show.
Okay.
Kim Mulkey is in the news. She's gone viral, Buck. LSU took down Tennessee in Baton Rouge last night, women's college basketball. And before the game, Kim Mulkey went up to the Tennessee coaches to shake their hands, right? You see this typically in women's college basketball, like a nice sign of respect. You shake hands with the head coach. You shake hands with the assistant coaches. Hey, great to see you. Looking forward to kicking your ass here in a few minutes.
Yes.
Well, Kim Mulkey in this handshake line. Have you seen the Key and Peele skit where the president is giving, like, he's walking in a room full of people and he gives traditional handshakes to all the white people, but to all the brothers and sisters in the room, he's like dapping them up and giving them a bro hug. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
If you haven't seen that one, go check it out. I mean, it is hilarious, the president handshake deal. But Kim Mulkey basically did that last night.
No.
Check this out. Going down the handshake line, firm handshake, white coach. Here's the brother. Boom. The dap, the bring it in, and the hug. More coaches. Firm handshake, firm handshake, firm handshake, firm handshake. There you go. Hey, nice to see you. But
look at the bell bottoms on her. What in the?
Oh,
she looks like Roy Rogers' wife, Dell Evans. I mean, come on.
Can you make a reference that anybody knows?
Everybody knows that young guy who's about to turn 32. Everybody knows who Dell Evans is, the wife of the late Roy Rogers. You know me, I watch my Westerns. That looks like a cowboy outfit. And it's got the lion on the front. Oh, I like the bell.
Everybody knows who Dale Evans is. She died in 2001.
Come on, man. What was she? Was she 90-something too?
88.
Look at that. Look at her when she turned around with those bell bottoms on. See how she got them tight on the thigh?
Yeah. It's the zebra print too, the white and black.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, I guess, a tiger print, but it's the zebra colors that she's rocking.
I like her in bell bottoms. I like that look for her.
I thought you said last time you hated her in that look.
No, I like this one. I like that one. That's got some sparkle to it. That's nice. That's a good fit with the big tiger in the front.
Feathers hanging off the shoulders and the bottom of her sweater that she's wearing. You're at a giant tiger head right front.
You would not be afraid of her. You would want to take her on.
I'm terrified. Well, what I would do is I'd see this one assistant coach get the sick dab handshake, and then I'd be trying to go in for the same. I wouldn't be going in like this. I'd be going in like this, and then she'd be like, no, not for you. You get the firm handshake. Put her there.
Man, she'd give me that dab and try to give me that hug. Buck will be going in Buck would be going in for the kill there
Yeah.
before the game even started. Sorry about that, Coach.
Well, hey, this guy is black. The guy who got the cool handshake,
Look.
you're black, so this
You
could
wanna
be
give me
you.
some of
You
that?
could
Wanna
get
give me
the
some?
hug right there.
You
That
wanna-
could be
hey.
you.
You want to give me some of that? You're going to give me more of that. Yes, indeed, Kim.
Oh, you're
We're going to
bringing
keep
her
on
in.
the move here.
You're bringing her in, and you're not letting her go.
Yeah, what was that? What was that one video you had of her giving that handshake? Hey, who remember the handshake you had?
Oh, with Caitlin Clark,
Yeah, come here, give me some of that.
where she just pulls Caitlin Clark's
Oh,
head
yeah.
down in the handshake
Tries,
line.
tries to snap her neck.
Dang.
Oh.
It's like, yeah, no. Kim Mulkey is acting like, no, I just wanted to say something secretive to her so no one could hear it. So I brought her real close. But it's really, she was so pissed that Caitlin Clark just beat her in the tournament that she wanted to rip her head off.
Yeah, she was trying to take her neck off. Come on, she's not like that. She's a fine woman, a fine specimen.
You and I have different definitions of fine, my friend.
Oh, boy.
So funny. So I actually got a text about this. I have an inside source here. I won't reveal who it is, but if you've listened to this show,
Oh, yeah.
you know exactly who it is. They texted me and they're like, dude, this is going to get blown way out of proportion, but
Of course
that
it is.
assistant coach is like best friends with one of our assistant coaches. So she knows him super well. So that's why she did it. It wasn't like, oh, I'm trying to be cool with the black community, so I'm going to do this. It's like, no, she actually knows that guy and has known him for a long time. So I'm like, dude, that's
And
hilarious.
she hugs him. She probably hugs him every time she sees him.
I'm sure it's exactly that. But yeah, that is.
And she can do the same with me. Every time she sees me, she needs to hug me.
Well, that never happens because you never go see her.
Just a little bit afraid.
Oh,
Nope.
you're afraid?
My wife knows of my
Oh.
attraction. So
Oh yeah, you're not afraid of Kim. You're afraid of your wife.
yeah, both of them.
What would happen if you went to see Kim? Now you always get mad at me for being afraid of Kim. You say there's nothing to be scared of. Are you changing your tune?
There's a lot to be afraid. She's got a tiger on her front. She's got that big lion face. That's overkill. And look at the size of that thing.
That's scary. Well, I think it was the last home game for LSU, so she wanted to pull out all the stops for senior night for her team.
I don't ever see her in like sneakers. You know when the coaches wear sneakers sometimes? She's got to have those have got to be some kind of fancy shoes. She's not ever wearing, just regular sneakers on the side.
Mm. Yeah, no, she ain't just rocking those, dude. She's got the high heels going.
Oh yeah.
Pointy toe. Those look like they're like shiny, sparkly silver.
What did they do?
too.
Did they beat Tennessee and beat them to a pulp?
No, it was a close game, but they won. LSU took care of business. Yeah, they ain't losing when Kim Mulkey's dressed like that. Not a chance.
No. Oh no.
Not a chance.
You know who's losing? The officials are losing when she's dressed like, oh, there's the gold.
Is that the one you like better?
Yeah, that's the one I like, the gold with the belt. Look at those shoes.
Yeah, the tiger print high heels there.
Oh man, that's awesome.
I mean, half of the video clips that we have saved here, Kim Mulkey and her outfits, or her weird handshakes, or her interesting press conferences. One of a kind. So there you go. There's your Kim Mulkey story of the day, reenacting the Key and Peele president skit. I guess, yeah, it was when Obama was in office. So they were acting like the president was Obama. And it's Obama just going down a line of people. It's all the white constituents. It's just firm handshake. And all, again, the black people in there. It's the dap and it's the funniest thing ever.
Oh my God, I gotta
Kim
see
Mulkey
that.
just recreated that last night. All right, great week of shows, my man.
Yes,
Best of
indeed.
luck to Texas baseball. We didn't talk about it, but obviously the Bruce Bolt College Classic starts tonight. We will recap it all on Monday. Greg Swindell.
Is that televised? We're gonna get that?
Not on TV. It might be on YouTube, actually.
Oh.
So it might not be very hard to find. I think it's on like the Astros YouTube channel. I got to double check that, but it's not going to be on traditional television.
I haven't
So
even canceled my Peacock yet. I got to do that today.
do that. Maybe go back to YouTube TV too. So
Oh.
you get your NBC back.
You're right.
Sure. I don't know. All right. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Fun week of shows. Enjoy the weekend, my man. And we will be back on Monday.
You be safe, man. Hook 'em.
Hook 'em.